Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hello again and welcome. We're awake from our long winter's nap, and the Ninja Troll has returned to the Cathedral of Wisdom. I don't know what that was, but
Good morning, Tim.
Yeah.
How are you, Timmy Bear?
That was
I see my porridge and my bed have been slept in. How you been, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
As I was saying, I am Tim Dixon, and with me is Mike Worth. We are your host for the Ninja Troll Digicast, and we have got a huge amount of stuff to talk about this week.
Oh my God, it's our end of the year show.
It is, yeah. We took last week off for the Christmas holiday, and to prepare for this, our year-end show, and a big part of this is going to be talking about Star Wars.
That's right. So let's throw up spoiler alert quick.
Yes. Yeah, well, we're not going to get to any spoilers yet. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about Star Wars last.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about everything else, and that way if you haven't seen Star Wars, you can hit the eject button and then come back later and listen to the end when we talk about Star Wars, because there's, I mean, you talk about cultural touchstones.
Oh, this was one of them.
This is one of them.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that when I was at the theater with my 13-year-old daughter.
Right? The generational experience.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Because she is now experiencing a Star Wars movie in the theater. That is the big difference for me. You can watch them all you want on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever.
Right.
In your house. You can pause it. You can do whatever you got to do. You can come back.
That's right.
This is a totally different experience.
The thrill of having to go to the bathroom so bad.
Oh, yeah.
That you
and
can't miss a minute.
And let me tell you something. That bathroom was packed.
Oh.
As soon as the theater, the movie let out, they all went and jumped right in there. But yeah, it was. I mean, and there was a guy that we were in the theater, and we watched it Saturday morning.
Oh, cool.
And we were in there, and the lights go down, and you see a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and then that fades down. Boom. And some dude goes, "Yeah!" And we all kind of echoed that sentiment. So, but it was so much fun to experience. But yeah, that will
be at the end of the show.
That will be at the end of the show, so there will be no spoilers. You don't have to worry. Well,
we'll warn everybody again.
We'll give you the eject point for after that. There be spoilers. But before we get to that, we're also going to, like we said, this is our year-end show, so we're going to take a look back at 2015, all the great things that happened during 2015.
Crazy year. And
we're also going to take a look forward to the year that all my money will go away, 2016.
We got to do it all over again.
Exactly, yeah. Which basically that whole year kind of started a couple weeks ago when Star Wars came out.
That's right, yeah.
That whole stretch from this December actually around to next December. There's another big Star Wars event coming next December.
And that giant vacuum sound,
yep.
That's the money vacuum.
That's
going to take all
Disney,
of our dollars.
That's Disney with their vacuum hose in my pocket. Vacuuming out all the money. So, but we also got we've got the comic rack, and we've got our movie and TV news, a bunch of different things going on. But the biggest thing that happened this past week was the man, Stan Lee, turned 93 years old.
That's amazing. Every year, everybody's like, "That's it. This is it." How many years in a row has he been in like a Deadpool?
Yeah, I mean, and not the movie Deadpool,
right.
but the people that are thinking that he's. I mean, and we saw him at. Well, we didn't see him, but we know people that saw him at Heroes Con.
That's right.
Unless you paid, you didn't see him.
Yeah. And he had the Weekend at Bernie's look about him.
Oh, he definitely did. And I mean, it was one of those things where they brought him in, sat him down, and said, "Okay. You come in, you stand there, we take the picture, you go on out. Don't talk to Stan, And he never, and we actually, John, the guy that shared the table with us at Heroes
John
Con,
Reyes Luna, our good buddy.
Yeah, he actually did that.
That's right.
He got the picture with Stan. He said, I don't even think he looked at me the whole time. It was like, you can't at that. I mean, they're parading people in there. It's $100 a pop to get your picture taken with Stan.
That's incredible.
I mean, and so good and well he's not paying attention to anybody that's coming through. And it's one of those things where if you meet somebody like that, you want to say how much his work has meant to you.
Without sounding corny.
But then at the same time, how many times has he heard that?
Yeah, right. And
how
can you say it in a new way that's going to make him go, wow, I did make a difference?
Exactly, yeah. So
he's just like, give me a Pepsi.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things, even if you did get a chance to talk to him, it's one of those things. You just say, "Hey, I'm a huge fan." Shake his hand and then get.
He probably look at you and be like, "You're not my grandson." But I think we also have to say that the man who recently, unfortunately, passed away,
Mr.
Lemmy Kilmister.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm ripping out my Motorhead shirt that I made myself in my garage.
Nice.
Rock icon, right? Metal icon.
That was one of those things. If you've seen him the past couple of years, he did not look good. No. And he was, and that's a hard life that man has led.
Oh my God! Right.
And he's 70 years old. He was 70 years old when he passed away.
And he smoked and drank till the end. I mean,
constantly.
Yeah.
Not just. I mean, not like a casual drinker.
Nope.
Like you would drink a soda. Like I'm sitting drinking Mountain Dew. He's drinking Jack.
He's drinking Dew Lockmore.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hard life that man led. But yeah, it was a huge deal the other day. Was it 2 days ago that he passed away?
Yeah. It was actually, I think, a few more days than that. And the announcement only came yesterday, which was strange. Okay. I wonder,
Yeah, well, it's with something like that, I guess you kind of want to get things together before you make an announcement because it's going to be a circus after that.
Totally.
But yeah, the what he gave to hard rock heavy metal cannot be overstated.
And he's part of that earlier generation, right? That sort of Birmingham, Sabbath era type generation of metal musicians. So it's like
metal, punk, hardcore. Everything came from Motorhead. I mean, it was just and he. If you talk to him, they weren't a metal band.
No.
They were a rock band.
Right.
That was it. That's all he looked at it as.
It was a one encompassing genre, right?
I mean, you don't care. You plug in, you play. If people like it, great. If not, screw them. Yeah. And that's the way he looked at it.
Well, I mean, a huge loss. I'm sure there's going to be tons of memorials. If you are a metal fan, check out like Eddie Trunk's page.
Oh yeah.
So we still got Stan, but we lost Lemmy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, that kind of sucked. And also, unfortunately, a guy that you know his work, but you don't necessarily know him. George Clayton Johnson. He was a co-writer of the novel Logan's Run. Oh. He wrote several Twilight Zone episodes, and he wrote the first Star Trek episode to ever air.
Whoa.
The Man Trap. He wrote that episode. He unfortunately passed away this week as well.
Oh.
So I didn't realize he was quite that prolific. He's written a lot of stuff.
I mean, these are all huge things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he wrote some of the part of the Twilight Zone movie as well.
Okay. The one in the 80s with
yes,
yeah, cool.
Yeah. So he did a lot of work with Twilight Zone.
John Lithgow.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is a favorite of Mike and mine, the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
The guy who played Paul, one of the vampires in that, Brooke McCarter.
Michael.
Yeah. He passed away this week as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was sad.
Which kind of sucks that this time of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Family and it's kind of. Yeah, it's the happiest and most depressing time.
Exactly. Of the year. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but we talked about this before on the show as well about what was the Martian, of course, this year with Matt Damon. We had to go save him. What was the one before that?
Interstellar. Yeah, McConaughey. But we had to save Matt Damon again.
Exactly. And Saving Private Ryan.
That's right.
So somebody on the internet estimated the price that we have spent to save Matt, or that has been spent to save Matt Damon, is $900 billion.
My God. Was he ever needed to be rescued in the Bourne Identity or anything?
Maybe. I don't know. I think it was just Saving Private Ryan, Interstellar, and The Martian
is what counts.
Yeah. And the last two, of course, are going to be the huge. I mean,
of course.
So, Saving Private Ryan's just like
get him out of Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, that's not that bad. But yeah, going to Mars and and wherever Interstellar was
that
it ever
other planet?
Yeah,
was like that long lost planet. I don't know.
Yeah, they never really said where that was.
I keep falling asleep every time I watch that movie.
It's a long movie.
It is.
So, but yeah, somebody estimated it as $900 billion.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, no kidding. And we talked a couple weeks ago that Stephen Amell was up for a Slammy Award, which is the WWE's Oscars, basically.
And how did it go?
He won.
Awesome.
But Stardust stole it.
Perfect.
So we're setting up something
the
else.
saga continues.
Yeah, the saga continues, exactly. So I'm sure we'll hear more from
Well, that's cool. This might be his jump from Arrow, maybe. I don't know. Is it a lateral move or a backward move to go to the WWE?
I don't think he should do that. I think he should stick with what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely easier on his body.
Totally.
So.
A top rope, you can't do that every day.
No. And we just saw this a couple minutes ago, actually, before we started the show. The U.S. Post Office will be releasing a 50th anniversary set of Star Trek stamps.
Awesome.
So I will be all over that.
Yeah.
If I ever actually mail a letter.
Come on, you're not getting stamps for letter.
Exactly.
You'd be the most special person in the world who would ever,
I think the last time I actually put a stamp on an envelope and mailed it
was 1,000 years ago.
Maybe.
1998.
It could be. I mean, it's been a while. It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're mailing Kapow comic art all the time, don't you?
Yeah, but you don't use stamps for that. That'd be like 1,000 stamps on the thing.
That's how you used to do it.
Yeah.
You put 1,000 stamps on a package and like 1,000 D batteries in your radio. Good old days.
Good old days.
Good old days. And over break, you were telling me that you binged watched
I did.
one of our missing stone in our arch, right, of science fiction and fantasy and geekery.
I did. I was watching BBC America, which is one of my when I'm off work, I love to hit BBC
TNG's
America.
on there,
Yeah.
right? A bunch of great
and that's what
British shows.
I was watching
Sherlock. Yep.
Yeah, I was watching Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation. And Doctor Who came on, and I never.
Which Who was this? Because there's so many.
The first one I watched was Matt Smith. I think he's the 11th Doctor.
And how many Doctors are there? I know we didn't need to do
we're
a
on the
show
12th
on
one now.
12th Doctor. Okay.
Yes. I believe, or he may be the 9th Doctor. I'll have to look up and see. But the first one, I know the first one was Matt Smith.
Okay.
But yeah, I was watching Next Generation, and Doctor Who came on, and I had always been kind of hesitant to get into Doctor Who because I know there's such a huge backstory.
Oh, I know.
There's 40 years of backstory that I don't know.
Right.
But I figure, hey, I'm at home, I got nothing else to do, let's just watch it. And I just looked it up. Matt Smith, the first guy that I watched was the 11th Doctor.
11th Doctor, okay.
So I watched the first episode, got into it. There was like I said, it was a lot of stuff that I didn't quite understand. But irregardless of that, it was a really good science fiction show. It was really good, and I got hooked in. The next one came on, so I watched it. Of course, it was continuation, so there was no way I was not watching.
Right. After TNG, a two-parter is, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. And then that was like the week before Christmas. Then leading up to the Christmas special, which I believe is kind of the start of the season for Doctor Who.
Okay.
But it's always a big thing because the companion, the Doctor always has a companion that is usually human.
Okay.
So for Christmas, they always try to go back to Earth so they can celebrate Christmas.
Oh, the
so
companion.
That's why,
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So that's why the Christmas special is a big deal for Doctor Who. So leading up to this year's Christmas special, they started a marathon.
Oh, cool.
So I watched so much Doctor Who, I feel like I should be saying arse now.
And are you engaged?
I'm hooked. I'm absolutely hooked.
Oh, that's great.
I love it. I absolutely.
And how do okay? So like, we should definitely do a bigger segment on this in the show. But like, where do you start? Like, where did you start, and what made you say, "Oh, I feel like I'm in the world"?
Well, see, that's the thing. I didn't go about it. I actually talked to our friend Chris Carpenter, who will be here next week for the show.
Yeah.
So he and I may talk about that.
Perfect.
Next week. I was talking to him about it, and he watches Doctor Who. So he gave me a couple episodes to watch.
Okay.
I've recorded those because I saw that they were on, but I haven't watched them. I didn't look for, hey, here's a jump on episode. I just jumped in.
You just jumped in. Wow.
Because I watched the one that was Matt Smith. He was the 11th Doctor, and it was an episode where the Cybermen were in. The Cybermen is one of the recurring villains.
Okay.
And they're almost like the Borg.
Oh.
They integrate people. They assimilate them, basically. And they tried to assimilate the Doctor. They found, when they tried, found out he's not human. He's a Time Lord. And so it was an opportunity for Matt Smith, who plays the Doctor, to really go outside of himself and have a scene where he's playing two different people in his own head. So he was, they had the piece of technology on the side of his face. So he talks as the Cyberman,
Yes.
Consciousness trying to take him over, but then respond as the Doctor.
Oh.
So he was, I mean,
and there's humor in Doctor Who,
there's
right?
a lot of humor.
It's really meant to be
yes.
funny show. And
absolutely.
Technology's a little hokey, right? Or funny, I guess, should be a better word.
Yeah. But yeah, it's in this episode, I think that helped a lot because this episode was so much fun. He was inside, and they actually went inside his head.
Oh.
And you have the two different versions of him, and they're arguing, and he basically tells him, listen, I'm not human. I'm a Time Lord. I can regenerate. All I've got to do is ask for it. And you won't survive that. I don't want to do that. So why don't you just leave right now? So basically, and when he said, and that explained to me, because that was one thing that I didn't get, was that there was all these different doctors, and in the show they admitted that it was a different Doctor, and I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Is it a job?
No, he's a Time Lord, and he regenerates when he becomes mortally wounded. He regenerates.
So he just is a new
person,
and
he takes a new form.
And it's the way to get a new actor in there.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
that's how they did that, and I didn't understand that until then. And they when they were inside his head, he says, I'm a Time Lord. I'll regenerate, and you won't survive that. And you see a flash of all the different Doctors.
Oh, cool.
So
like
you got to see them.
Old school ones. Because wasn't Doctor Who originally black and white show?
Yes. I don't know if it was black and white, but it started in the 60s.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, you got a flash of all those different Doctors. Wow. And that helped me. Maybe this was a good spot to jump in because it explained to me all that stuff.
It's the Crisis episode.
Exactly, yeah. And then when I picked, that was the first one I watched. Then I picked up in this marathon, it was the 10th Doctor, David Tennant.
Oh, see, that would throw me right there. That would make me go like, huh, wait, who? Because if I don't know enough about the first Doctor, I would feel like,
well, that's the thing. It's still the same Doctor, though.
Okay.
And that's the thing. They're playing the same character, just a little different. Each time he regenerates, it's the same guy or the same creature, but with each iteration, there's a little bit of a difference. So the character, the actor can bring his own portrayal to it and change it just slightly, and that's what they want.
Oh, that's great. So Carpenter knows about all this stuff
yes.
and can sort of. All right, so you guys are gonna. All right, so I'm not on next week's episode.
Yes.
I'm on vacation, so you guys are gonna break this all down because I'm so curious. Like, I would love to like Doctor Who, but I just because I see people, and if you're into Doctor Who, you are diehard Doctor Who, and if you're not, then you're not.
Yeah,
right?
It's an on-off thing.
It totally is. Yeah. But I love Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And like appreciate that kind of humor.
And there was a reference in one of the episodes I watched. They made an Arthur Dent reference.
Ah.
And something else I found out: Douglas Adams. Was a writer
for Doctor Who.
Okay.
And
there you go. That makes
Perfect.
Complete sense. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give this a shot, but I'm gonna. All right. I think if anybody else is out there and interested and wants to get into Doctor Who, we need to add more of this to our show because obviously Doctor Who news happens, and we're like, great.
I am completely hooked now. I'm
awesome.
absolutely hooked because I every episode I watched, and they're definitely serial. Most of them. Some of them stand alone, but a lot of them, cliffhangered into the next one. And it was one of those where when you're watching a marathon, you're never quite sure if the next one is going to be the actual next one.
Oh.
So I was always like on the edge of my seat going, you better not leave me. You better not leave me hanging. So, but yeah, and a lot of this stuff is, it's very creepy. a lot of them. Like you had, there was one episode where there was animated scarecrows running around after people. And so you had a little amount of almost like a horror movie.
A horror feel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's a lot of mystery that he, like a lot of times he has to solve a mystery to accomplish something. But I think the biggest thing is the actors playing the Doctor are the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah.
And I think the majority of what I've watched is David Tennant, the 10th Doctor, who is there's a lot of people he is their favorite.
I see. Yeah, I'm seeing a picture of all the doctors here.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we may do.
Please do. That would
do
be
a showcase
so cool.
on that next week, to kind of the different doctors and how they lay this stuff out. And but the companions were something that confused me at first as well, because it's just somebody that goes along with him. Sometimes it's not. Usually, it seems like it's a female. Not always the case.
I saw an episode with the Christopher Eccleston.
That's the
Doctor.
That's the 12th current Doctor.
Oh, is he the current Doctor?
Yes.
It might have been.
No,
one.
wait a minute.
Matt
No.
Smith is the current Doctor. Yes.
No, Matt Smith is not he's the 11th Doctor.
Okay.
The current and 12th Doctor is what's his name? There's his picture. Peter Capaldi
Okay.
is the current and 12th Doctor.
Gotcha.
The Matt Smith was before him, and David Tennant was before him, and then I think Eccleston was. I don't know how to spell his name. So
Yeah, I had a little trouble there.
I think he was the 9th. Yeah, Christopher Eccleston.
Okay.
He was the first one of this new reboot, for lack of a better term. He, when they restarted the show in 2005, he was the first of the modern Doctor.
I think I saw one episode of that the first episode where like these robot dudes are trying to kill this woman.
That sounds like the Cybermen.
Okay.
They do that, yeah.
Okay.
And the Daleks. The Daleks, they seem a little hokey because it's definitely like a 60s.
They sound like bollocks.
Yeah. They've got a very funny.
I see. There's a robots.
Yeah, they're robots, and they have. Well, actually, they aren't robots. They're creatures inside those.
Oh.
But they live inside. They never leave those shells.
Oh, I see.
And they have this weird computer affected voice. But they're always saying exterminate, exterminate. And I went to Rebel Base Comics yesterday.
Cool.
Emma and I went, not yesterday, before yesterday. And they had a Dalek there that had the push button and it made noise. I stood there in the aisle giggling for probably about 10 minutes, just hitting the thing over and over again.
Because you get it now.
All
you
all the different things that they say. It's just hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, I'm hooked totally on Doctor Who now.
Awesome.
So
well, I would appreciate that. If you guys like start at the top, please. Like
Yeah.
just what it all means, the history, like all that stuff is really great.
yeah. So yeah.
So how many episodes did you watch in total?
Oh Lord, I don't know, but probably a good
20 maybe?
probably close
Wow.
to 20. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and
And
there's
they're the
there's-
hour or half hour?
hour. And
Cool.
they're on. I've got like 4 that I recorded. One of the ones that Carpenter suggested, I saw coming on like in the middle of the night, so I set it to record. I haven't watched it yet. And then the Christmas episode, set that to record.
Cool.
Which that is the return of River Song, is played by Alex Kingston. Who was on ER? That's the way I know her.
Okay.
She was on ER.
Yeah, you lost me there.
Yeah.
ER.
But she at one time was the Doctor's wife, but she's a time traveler as well.
Oh.
So each time they see her, it's, if I remember this correctly, it's earlier for him, but later for her.
Why is he traveling ahead and she's traveling back?
I think so.
Oh wow.
Yes. So every time they see each other, and the whole thing is all about time travel, so it could be at any point.
Yeah.
There was one episode I was watching where the previous Doctor called Clara, the companion, to tell her to help out the new Doctor. And it's like
bizarre.
And it was like he's on the phone and she's talking to him, and the new Doctor says something, and he goes, "Is that him? Is that the Doctor?" And she said, "Yes." And please tell me he's not old. Tell me I didn't get old. So it was this bizarre thing. Obviously, it had to be shot to do the bridge over from one actor to another.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it was just really bizarre. But it was one of those that, okay, I may not quite understand everything that's going on, but I don't care. I'm in. And I'm going.
Oh, that's good. All right. So, I'll have to give it a shot.
So much fun. So much fun. So, but let's just head right into our movie and TV news.
Let's.
Speaking of proper English gentlemen.
Yes.
We got our first look at Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. He looks good. Really good.
And the magic around him he'll have the hex stings and stuff, and all that stuff looks fantastic.
Yeah, and his look will look really good. And he has seemingly the eye of Agamotto around his neck. And somebody online was pointing out that may be another one of our Infinity Stones.
Oh, well, that'd be good. It's a special item. I mean, I don't think it wasn't, right?
No, it wasn't. But that could, for the cinematic universe, that could introduce another one. So that could be another one of the, I think somebody was saying it's probably the Time Stone.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That may be the last one that needs to be introduced.
Thanos needs to have. How many have we seen?
We've seen the Ether, the Cosmic Cube, Loki's Scepter, what did they call the orb in
Guardians? I forget. Yeah, but that one, that purple gem,
that
right?
One. Then we need one more. If that is one, then we need one more.
And that would be maybe I Agamotto. Yeah. Not Agamemnon.
That's a totally different one.
Yeah.
But, so we may need, that may be the last one we may need. I may be forgetting something, but we may need to introduce one more.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, this is going to be good. It's going to be really good.
That's going to be an epic movie, yeah.
That comes out, I think, is it next year?
I think so, right? It's slated.
Yes, it is. Yeah, in November. Yeah, we have that coming up in our look at the year ahead. But that's going to be November. But we were talking about Star Wars earlier, and the amount of money that it's raking in.
Yeah, what's it at now?
It is at $1.228 billion.
Billion,
yes.
Holy,
that's billion with a B.
Wow.
Worldwide. And just like before the show, Mike and I were talking about this, and I mentioned it hasn't even opened in China yet. Think about how many people are going to go see it in China. That's the outside of the United States. That's the largest global market.
Oh man, it's going to crush.
So it's going to go through the roof again. It's like there's your afterburner that kicks in.
Wow, what's Disney going to do with themselves? They're going to be so filthy rich.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the Star Wars, the announcements about Star Wars Land that's supposed to be going to Disney World?
Yeah, they're going to be tearing some stuff down to make room for it.
All the Frontier Town stuff.
Oh, Frontierland.
Yeah, Frontierland. Yeah, like the island of what's the
Misfit Toys?
No, Dr. Moreau.
Oh, okay.
No, the island like Tom Sawyer's Island, and like the Jamboree bears, the animatronic bears who are scary as all get out.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's probably the inspiration of Five Nights at Freddy.
It's exactly what it is.
But supposedly they were gonna do some stuff there in like Thunder Mountain or something. That like Runaway Train. I think some of those things are maybe on the chopping block.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna need a lot of room. So.
Well, forever. There was the Star Wars area in, was it? I guess it's called. It used to be MGM Studios. Now it's what's the
Universal?
new name of it? No, I forget what it's called. So the three parks in Florida, right? You got Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and then this. Well, I guess there's four now, right? There's the Disney animal one, where you can go see the safari. But there was the old MGM Studios park that had more of the movie stuff.
Yeah.
They always had a Star Wars area that had like a store, and like there was a Star Wars experience, Star Tours. Remember Star Tours?
Yeah.
So like that's been around forever, but I guess this is going to be a Magic Kingdom thing, which will be, oh my god.
Yeah. Now that they own it, it's coming back. Yeah.
That's going to be cool.
It's going to be really cool. Yeah. And I think is it next year that's supposed to open?
I think. I mean,
the Indiana Jones part is supposed to be open now. I think it was supposed to open in November.
Well, they opened a ton of stuff. I mean, they opened like a Snow White gem mine for all the new movies. There's a place for Brave. There's a place for Tangled. There's a place for what is it? Beauty and the Beast. There's like you got to go to Disney World.
Yeah. That's one thing I've never been down there to any of the
big parks down there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're a ton of fun.
Yeah.
You got to go on an off day because otherwise,
it's gonna
crowds would kill you. You'll hate it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm no big fan of crowds. So.
Nope.
So, but we also got some new images from Daredevil season 2.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen
the baddie.
We haven't seen Punisher in the shirt.
Oh yeah.
And the skull yet, but we've got an image of him. Just basically interacting with other characters, and then one with him with a gun on a tied up Daredevil.
Ooh.
So there's obviously going to be friction between the two of them.
Yeah.
Of course,
hopefully
you know
team
that.
up. Right.
Yeah. And we also got a picture of Elodie Young as Elektra.
Oh.
Not in full, not like decked out in ninja gear, ready to go, but just a picture of her as the character.
Cool.
So, and still no word. I wish they would go ahead and tell us when that's coming out.
I guess, yeah.
Because I'm interested how it's going to fall. Whether we're going to get Power Man first, because we've got Power Man, Iron Fist, Daredevil season 2, then the Defenders. So I don't know what the order is there.
I don't know. They might drop Daredevil in the middle.
It may be, yeah.
Just because, like, especially if a show starts to flounder. I mean, like, not everybody loves Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the most amazing thing
different.
on everybody's list. Yeah,
it has a different feel to it. So, I still haven't watched any more than like the 3rd episode. I need to get back into it and finish it up.
Yeah, I've been bad too. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd like to know when exactly it's going to fall in the whole, like when Power Man's coming out, when Daredevil season 2 is coming out, and Iron Fist, because they've announced a showrunner on Iron Fist at least.
Cool.
So we got that, but I'd like to know what the timetable is. But they didn't announce Jessica Jones until a couple months before.
Yeah, and it kind of burst on the scene.
Because they have to produce the entire series. It's not like it debuts
here
and then it goes. They got to get the whole season done.
That's true.
So
it's got to be good.
Yeah.
So they're gonna check it, and like that must be interesting to try and put together.
Yeah, you can't produce as you go like most TV shows do. You have to have the whole thing done. So that may help unify the production though.
That's true.
Because you don't have like you think about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You record the first episode or shoot the first episode, and then 6 months later you shoot the last one.
Yeah. And a lot's changed.
Yeah.
Actors have evolved. And, influence on the show.
Yeah.
The writing's probably been edited and changed.
Yeah. So this may help unify the season.
Well, Daredevil was fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely
fantastic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, but we also got our promised Christmas Day trailer for Deadpool.
Oh, I didn't watch it yet.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Is it good?
Yeah, and he gets into it with Colossus. It basically tells him, I don't have time for your X-Men ish. and Colossus tells him that we can't allow anyone to get hurt. And that's what he tells him. He doesn't have time for that crap. And then somebody falls from, like, they're on the bridge. It's the whole bridge scene that the leaked footage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
While he's saying, oh, nobody's getting hurt, somebody, like a body falls, and he goes, hey, he was up there when we got here. But yeah, I mean,
I gotta watch
it's
this.
so
That's
much
great.
fun. And you get to see Marrow.
Who's Marrow?
Marrow is from the X-Men.
Okay.
And
Oh wait, is Marrow the one that grows?
Grows the bones and throws them.
Ooh,
Breaks them off and throws them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem sanitary. I but you get to see Marrow and Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yep.
Basically,
NTW.
Yeah, you get a little insight into her character because somebody takes down Colossus, and Deadpool goes, "That's why I brought her," and she's got her phone out and she's like texting somebody, and she holds up the finger like, "Hey, give me a second," and he goes, "Oh, by all means, finish your tweet first." So that's another little twist there that he has to deal with her and the teenage girl attitude.
She's as powerful as can be, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So this is going to be so much fun.
Oh man,
so much fun.
I'm watching it without sound here. It looks good.
Even without sound. And there's one shot where he's down and somebody's advancing on him because he thinks that he's out, and he shoots them from between his legs, and he jumps up and goes, "Oh, right down Main Street."
Oh man, that's gonna be so good. Ryan Reynolds is gonna kill it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he released pictures of his script with notes on, like his notes on it.
Oh,
so I get the distinct impression that what Deadpool is on the screen, that's Ryan Reynolds. That's the way he is, because the notes, and it may be playing into the character itself as well, but the notes that he's written on there were very
really funny.
Yeah, they're hilarious. So,
if you think though that when Ryan Reynolds was Green Lantern, he tried to be funny and witty and stuff, and it was like, that's not Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan's stoic and and valiant and
a jerk.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He's a pilot, and he had that arrogance to him, but he was too funny to be Hal Jordan, I think.
Yeah.
This is perfect for him.
Oh, yeah,
this
absolutely.
is the role for him.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to have to see what he can play after this, because rom-com time.
Yeah.
That's it. He's going to be back. Yeah.
But we also got a kind of a synopsis, not really, but and also pictures from the new Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah, I saw.
It was a really cool shot of
great looking uniforms.
Yeah, they look great, and it was like next to a
turned over car,
fire truck.
Oh, okay.
And one of the people on the production said they'll be fighting ghostly criminals from New York City's past, including pilgrims, old-timey sailors, Revolutionary War spirits, and a couple of zoot-suited gangsters.
What? You're kidding me.
So that is going to be awesome.
That's exciting.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
Why the mixture of all those crazy things?
I mean, you think about if something like in the new one happens like it did in the original, a lot of ghosts were released at one time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but they didn't play with that too much, right? I mean, they had like the Vigo.
That was towards the end of the movie when all of them had been released.
Right.
But if something like that happens again, it could be like a nexus that all the spirits are being pulled towards one place.
Okay.
So
Slime River.
Yeah. Oh God.
My favorite's always the dead cabbie.
Yes.
Yeah. Who he's like it was because that was like Night of the Living Dead Part 2 effects.
Yeah. Yeah, that would. Most of the other effects were a little hokey just to kind of keep them funny. But that one was straight on gore.
That was it was like real practical stuff.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so, but that is coming later this year. Also, we've got an image for the new Civil War, Captain America: Civil War, that shows Falcon's trusty sidekick, Red Wing.
Oh,
but it's going to be a drone.
Ooh.
It's not going to be an actual Falcon. In the comics, Red Wing is a
real Falcon.
Falcon that he can telepathically communicate with. This is going to be like a drone.
This is every time I see this stuff, it's like I always think of like Blue Falcon and Birdman. Help me, Avenger. Right? I don't remember Blue Falcon's name, but
no, I don't either.
Yes.
But there is also a rumor, and you have to anytime we say there's a rumor, you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that Civil War will start with a funeral and end with a funeral.
Oh. Who would die in the beginning?
I don't know. Well, could be
I think.
Agent Carter. I can't remember.
Oh, Peggy.
Thank you.
Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
Yep.
It could be her because
she's old.
Yeah, she was she was old, and we Emma and I just watched Winter Soldier a couple days ago because she had never seen it, and she kept reminding me, no, you went to see it without me. So I was like, okay, well, let's watch it.
Let's watch it. Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, so she was, and she even had like he was there talking to her, and then she kind of had a moment to where she's like, oh, Steve, you're here. Like she checked out basically, so her mind's starting to go. So that could be her. And the funeral at the end, I mean, in the comic, Cap didn't make it. He was assassinated. So that could lead to that, to whether they're going to stay that close to.
It'd be great. I mean, it would be tragic, it'd be in the movies to see that happen.
Yeah.
One thing in comics. Powerful. And then they're doing season 2 of Agent Carter, which supposedly looks great. She's out west, right, in California.
She's going to LA,
right, and you said she has like a supercar, like a super spy car.
Yeah, kind of like Coulson's Lola,
the
car that he uses in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But it's got the champagne.
Oh yeah. It also has it's Howard Stark's car, so it's going to have the champagne in there. So it's rocking.
Yeah.
And Tom Holland, the actor who plays Spider-Man. And this is obviously confirms that he will be in Civil War.
Awesome.
He says that he is 10 times more excited to play Spider-Man in a solo movie now that he's played him in Civil War.
Oh.
So like I said, not only does that confirm that he is in it,
but they've shot it.
Yeah. And he's excited about playing Spider-Man even more now.
How are they going to? All right, so is this the last time that Sony's going to do a Spider-Man movie?
Well, no. The agreement now is the solo movies are released by Sony, and Marvel gets consulting ability
credits
on it.
Or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're able to consult on it, but they're still released and controlled by Sony.
But what I mean is that like the way the story's going is that we're going to have this crossover. Everybody's going to love it, right?
Yeah.
Because Civil War is going to be amazing. Let's just say already. And then it's going to go to a solo movie. Mm-hmm. Well, let's hope it holds up. And then when's the next crossover?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because Marvel's going to keep, there's going to be another crossover. And it's like, it's going to bait that. And I feel like if they don't do it again, they kind of lose the cred.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
It could be Marvel's way of like,
sticking it to them,
gutting it, and basically inevitably setting them up to fail. I mean, look, I don't want to speak that way, but
if they do so much better with the crossovers and then the solos stink, I mean,
totally. Yeah, some of the Spider-Man movies have not been great. Over
Spider-Man 3
over the time,
stinky poo.
Yeah, right. And they had tried to do the black suit, and it was like,
and it was such a waste of Venom, such a waste.
Yeah.
So the whole. I don't want to get off on a nerd rant, but
it's coming. I see it's boiling.
Yeah, it's boiling. Yeah, changing the origin story kind of ticked me off. You're muddy in the water, no pun intended, but with Sandman, you're muddy in the waters. Because he did muddy the waters.
You intended that pun.
Him.
Stop with your unintended.
Yes, I did.
Intendedness.
But we also got a trailer for Monday Supergirl. So Monday. It's back.
Wow,
so,
it's fast.
It's real fast. Yeah, because it's. I don't know if they knew for sure they were going to get a full season, so they wanted to go ahead and have it, not have a huge hiatus for it.
Right.
So the new episode of Supergirl will air Monday, and the trailer reveals that Kara now knows. I don't know if it's going to happen in Monday's episode, but she will know that Hank Henshaw is not Hank Henshaw and he's Martian Manhunter. And it shows a creepy Supergirl like baby doll, which I assume is the Toy Man.
Oh yeah,
he's been cast for the show.
Okay,
so I assume that's his little.
That makes sense.
That's his MO right there.
Yeah,
Creepy toys.
Let's make toys.
Yeah, let's make creepy toys.
Yeah.
And also her arguing with Kat and refuting that she is actually Supergirl.
The cat caught her totally.
Well,
right?
yeah, well,
Or-
but it's one of those. She doesn't really have evidence.
She's like looking like
she's
giving it
got
like the wide eyes.
circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
But Kat is like not hearing
nothing
any of it.
corroborated, so we're not.
But she's like, and I don't know what you're talking about now. I'm not Supergirl, and she's like, it's 100%. I'm 100% sure
yeah,
that you're Supergirl.
she's trying to get her to
Yeah, she's
fess
trying to
up.
get it to admit it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but she's holding to her guns. So,
Wow.
And they also have said that Bizarro will be part of the show.
Oh boy.
Now, is that a Bizarro Supergirl or is that Bizarro
The true Bizarro.
Superman?
Yeah. Was there ever a Bizarro Supergirl?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that'd be interesting. Yeah.
But I think it would be even more interesting if it was Bizarro Superman.
There have been in the comics before, but like I think
Okay.
not a long running character.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, she's creepy looking too.
Yeah,
Yeah, she looks like a zombie.
Yeah.
It's bad. Yeah, it's
But
bad.
I think it would be even more interesting if it was Bizarro that she ran into.
Yeah.
And no, he's just as powerful as Superman. And he's not necessarily, if they do him the way they're doing him now, he's not necessarily evil. He's just not that smart.
Right.
And if he can be a handful to deal with, so I think that if you use that character, it's more interesting for her to have to deal with.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So I think it would be a lot of fun.
So here in the DC Wikia, it says here that there was a pre-crisis version. Bizarro Supergirl was accidentally created by Baby Buster
Baby Buster.
when he messed it around with buttons on the duplicator ray. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. However, Superman used blue kryptonite on her and took the baby. Yeah. Okay.
I've got to do that showcase on the colors of kryptonite.
That'd be great.
That's going to be so much fun
That-
because I've never heard of blue kryptonite.
Oh God. You'll also want to know that there's a Bizarro Lois Lane.
Oh, of course there is.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Lois had her own comic at one time, so you know there's going to be
That's true.
all kind of
She's
stuff.
yeah.
But we also got a new trailer for Legends of Tomorrow.
I haven't seen this one.
It looks so much fun.
Okay.
Because they're different eras in time. They're going to different places, and they're essentially it's going to be like, okay, here's a chance we can stop him. Let's go to this point. Here's a chance we
cool.
can stop him. Let's go to this point.
Cool. And you get to hear the characters talk and interact.
Yes, yeah, they interact and at one point,
Any standouts?
the kid who plays Jax, the other part of the Firestorm Matrix, he and I was really impressed with him in the Flash, the crossover.
Yeah.
He held his own very well, and being thrown into an ensemble of people who know how to work with each other and have been part of it.
Here's
for
this
a
new
while.
guy.
This
Yeah.
new guy, and he was able to hold his own. And you get a little not a contentious relationship, but kind of a. You've got an old white Jewish
Stein.
man
Yeah.
and a young urban African American kid.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be
Scientist and a football player.
a football player,
Yeah,
exactly.
right, who
So there's a
became
little bit
mechanic.
of there's a little bit of head bumping
Interesting.
with the two of them.
That's great.
But there's a scene in the trailer where Martin Stein says, basically, your plan is to have us sacrifice ourselves. And it cuts to a shot of Jackson. He goes, yeah, I'm not okay with that. So he's taking a little more of a not really a leadership role, but like stepping out and saying,
protecting himself. It
yeah,
sounds
protecting
like.
himself.
Otherwise,
and-
Stein will run him around.
yeah, exactly. So, but you got to see the Hawks in
Cool.
full-on mode, and Sarah would get a love interest from the 50s.
Oh.
Now, I don't know how long they're going to be in the 50s, or whether she's going to come with. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there is a character has been cast. Let me find it here. Allie Liebert has been cast as Lindsay Carlisle, a potential love interest for Sarah, and she is from the 50s.
Oh.
So again, whether they're going to stay a long time in the 50s or whether somehow she's coming with them, or that would be a big old mess if you start doing stuff like that, because there's rules basically that they're going to have to establish of what they can do as far as the timelines, what can be changed, and by who.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah, basically.
Prevention and stuff.
So if you pull somebody like that out of the timeline,
Do they become dark side? Yeah.
yeah. So it could, So you have to establish those rules and then stick to them. So, but it looks like Sarah's going to be a handful. There's,
How's she gonna be, right? Because she got all messed up from coming back from the dead.
she seems to be like back to her old self. But if that right there was a handful anyway, and she like it shows her attacking somebody, and Rip Hunter goes, "I told you no weapons," and then a little later she pulls a knife and throws it at somebody, and he looks at her and goes, "Exactly how many knives do you have?" So I mean, she's always
She's packing.
Yeah, she's always packing. So that's just. But that's her. I mean, that's her training.
It's the canary, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Kicking
butt. But yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
Cool.
So,
When's that airing?
that debuts January 21st.
Awesome.
So it's going to be Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow.
Killer.
All coming back.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Boom. Cool.
And they come. Flash comes back the 19th, Arrow the 20th, and then it debuts the 21st.
Are any shows competing for slots, like between networks, between Marvel, DC?
Agent Carter is also on Tuesdays, but I don't know if it's. I think last season it was on at 9 instead of 8. Maybe I don't know. It might be on at 8. But if it is, it's on. Yeah, it's on at 8 as well.
I want to watch that.
So yeah,
but I don't want to miss Flash.
Exactly. Yeah. So we also, speaking of Flash, the trailer for The Return.
I saw pictures.
Shows them going to Earth 2.
Cool.
The whole gang.
Going
to Earth 2.
Come on, gang.
Yeah.
Let's go to Earth 2.
It's the Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
You see Killer Frost.
I saw a picture.
Whether that's Earth 2 Caitlin or not,
you're
not quite sure. Because she says it's so much more fun to be bad.
Ooh.
So
that suggests a change, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It implies at least,
Yeah.
Wow.
You also see the return of the Reverse Flash.
Cool.
And it's not the Harrison Wells look-alike Reverse Flash. This is Eobard Thawne, straight, like fresh from the 30th century.
Oh, wow.
Is this
30th?
Is this Earth 2's
actor.
30th century? No, it's the guy that we saw.
Wells? Like the Wells guy? Or
the guy who sucked Wells dry to turn into him.
Oh, that's right.
It's Matt Lesher.
Yeah, we saw that in the flashback, right, when he explained how it all...
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got you.
He was a different guy,
yeah.
And then why he looked like Harrison Wells.
Wow.
So we got that guy. So, again, is he coming out of the time stream like this, or is this Earth 2's 30th century Eobard Thawne, or what? And it looked like, from the trailer, Cisco says Reverse Flash is back.
Ooh.
And then it shows him taking off the mask, and it's that guy. But that looked like the same stuff that they shot for the night Nora was killed.
Oh.
Because you see them fight, then the Reverse Flash goes out, and his speed goes away. If you remember that, he's out on the street, and his speed goes away because Barry hasn't created the Speed Force yet.
Right. And then he goes, no!
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But he takes off his mask, and that looked like that same shot.
Oh, wow.
So you don't actually get new footage of the Reverse Flash. You see that, and you see what looks to be Reverse Flash and Barry fighting.
Which is supposedly the night of the death of Nora.
No, that is different.
Oh.
That is different, but it's very hard to tell for sure that it is Reverse Flash. But you do hear Cisco say Reverse Flash is back.
Awesome.
So, and then let's see, and you see Wally and Joe interacting.
Really?
And Wally says something about that's pretty messed up, and Joe says this is ground central for pretty messed up. So
well, they're gonna have to bring him in.
Yeah, exactly. He'll have to be up to speed on what all's going on because everybody's in on the
except
for
the joke,
except for Patty.
Yeah,
He still
I'm
hasn't
sure
told
she's
Patty.
gonna find out.
Sooner or later.
Yeah, Patty will find out.
Everybody finds out. So.
Yeah.
And we got a trailer for Arrow as well. It shows.
Where the hell was I? I missed all these trailers.
Yeah.
See, I told you to text me, Tim.
But on that, because we left when last we left our heroes, Felicity had been shot.
That's right. So we don't know if she's dead or not.
In
the
the
big mob
trailer,
hit.
in the trailer, we get Thea saying that Felicity is out of surgery, and that the doctors didn't say what was wrong.
Ooh.
So maybe they've been called. Hey, you need to get over to the hospital, but they're not saying what's going on. So, and then you also see Ollie staring at a grave.
Ooh.
So you're definitely left with the impression that she's dead.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, we got to see who that. They're going to play that. They can't leak that.
Yeah, they're going to play that to the hilt. But they've also announced that Vixen will make the move from animation to live action. She will be on Arrow.
Cool.
So
perfect character.
And it's the same. The lady who's doing her voice on the Vixen animated show on the CWC will play her.
Wow, has that ever happened before?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Wow. Yeah, right.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, Mark Hamill never played the Joker.
Mm-mm.
That would be a good role for him.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about earlier with Agent Carter. Yeah, we got a trailer for that as well. That debuts the 19th, and she's headed to L.A. and she has to. I think Madame Mask is going to be the villain for this.
Cool. Great noir kind of classic villainous. Yeah.
Yeah. And also from Batman versus Superman, it is rumored that the dead Robin that we see, the costume in the Batcave, that is rumored to be Jason Todd.
Whoa.
And not only that, but Dick Grayson would get a shout out.
Is he going to come back as Nightwing?
I think it was originally written that he was going to be in the movie, but that got dropped. But he will at least be mentioned.
Well, this is part of a series, isn't this? This Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, won't this be in a few more movies?
Yeah, this will be. There's going to be solo Batman movies, but there's also it's leading to the Justice League movies,
right? 2017.
So we may get Nightwing as a character.
That'd be great. Yeah, I mean,
it'd be awesome.
Maybe Suicide Squad even. There's a chance for him to show up.
That's true, because Batman will be in Suicide Squad as well.
Yeah, I wonder. But no other. There's a Wonder Woman movie for 2017. But no other.
There's Flash for 2018.
Yep.
Aquaman 2019.
Yep.
And Green Lantern. There's Cyborg in there somewhere. And Green Lantern 2020.
They're both 2020. Cyborg and Green Lantern.
Okay.
JLA 2 will be in 2019, as well as Shazam.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that'll be in 2019.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah. And Captain America is going to get a 75th anniversary special on ABC.
Awesome. When is that?
ABC will air on Tuesday, January 19th. Of course.
Boom.
Everything's going to be on that night.
Oh man.
It's right before. It says it's right before the season 2 premiere of Agent Carter. So Agent Carter will be 9.
So they're going to
this will be on
try
at
to punch Flash.
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
And it will be called Marvel's Captain America: 75 Heroic Years.
Oh yeah.
So it'll cover from 1941 when he punched out Hitler all the way up to modern day.
Nice.
So that should be a lot of fun. And it will feature an exclusive announcement from Marvel Comics.
Ooh.
So I'm interested to see what that is. That's a couple.
What would they announce?
It's a couple months before Civil War, but we kind of know what we need to know. I don't know.
What would they tell us?
I don't know. It's an interesting
question. We know
question.
Spider-Man's going to be in it.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Is this the official announcement?
Maybe it's the official announcement. Maybe they'll show us.
Because there's been no boom, 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 except for what that actor said.
Yeah, exactly. There's been no official announcement. Yeah, it's pretty solid because he obviously has played him in Civil War.
Yeah.
Maybe we get Iron Spider. I had to explain that to Emma and I. My daughter Emma and I were in the Disney
store.
Crimson
Spiders?
No, Iron Spider. In the Civil War storyline, Peter Parker came out, admitted who he was, said, I'm Spider-Man, I am Peter Parker,
and
I side with Iron Man. He made him armor So for a while, he was Iron Spider. He had
those
a suit.
Yeah, and he had those crazy arms and stuff.
Yeah.
He looked like kind of like a Doc Ock. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But who are the Crimson Spiders? Weren't they like clones of
That? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
that Tony had? I remember. I think that might have been in
they made from the Clone Saga.
It might have been in the what's it called that the Crimson Spiders were like a real problem. The Initiative when because what's his name controlled them? Iron Patriot, right?
Okay.
Osborn.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Gosh, I got to reread Civil War.
Yeah.
It's
But I had
been
to
a minute.
explain that we were in the Disney store and they had an Iron Spider action figure, so I had to explain that to to Emma who that was. But it's a pretty cool suit. So maybe we'll see that. I don't know. That would be kind of cool if he does side with Tony.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be and that might be a whole new way to show Spider-Man that won't have the same look as the standalone movie.
Because they do like to adjust the look from
movie to
movie.
Well,
So
yeah, studios will definitely want to differentiate.
yeah, then they can sell more toys.
Exactly.
All right, well, that's a look at our movie and TV news. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a spin of the comic rack.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time for the comic rack. Hey, nice rack.
Knock it off, perv.
No, it's the latest news from the enormous world of comics. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, the comic rack is a little empty this week.
Just a couple of Archies and a Beetle Bailey.
Yeah, I know. It's just squeaking. You keep turning it and keep turning it, but there's not a whole lot in it. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of comic news, I guess, because with it being Christmas holiday, there's not a whole lot going on. But we do have Independence Day. We'll get a new comic book release from Titan Comics because we told you a couple weeks ago about the new movie has released a trailer and it looks pretty good.
Yep.
I was skeptical, but it looks pretty good.
It does.
Titan Comics has released a look at the covers for the first two issues of the forthcoming Independence Day comics, written by Victor Gischler and Steve Scott. And the solicitation is, as our world unites against invaders from beyond the stars, another mysterious craft beneath the Atlantic Ocean may hold the key to humanity's survival or destruction.
I knew Aquaman was going to be in this one.
There you go. See? But isn't he in the Pacific? Or is he?
I don't know.
No?
Where's Atlantis in DC
No,
world?
that should be in the Atlantic. Because it's Atlantis.
Pacificus is a different...
Pacificus, yeah, it's a whole different thing.
story.
There's more room in the Pacific. But so, yeah, my question is, okay, is this another alien craft? Or is this something complete? Because it says a mysterious craft.
Yeah.
Is this one of the ones left over from the other invasion?
Right, that
Or
maybe it was a...
like the one from Roswell. Because in the original movie, there was one that
They had
crashed
to go
in the
get
50s.
Yeah, they had to go get the technology from
Yeah.
it, right, to hack it. Yeah.
So, and just thank God that the alien invaders used Mac, so he could create a virus.
Tell you what.
It's one of those convenient movie things.
Well, because Macs don't get viruses.
Yeah, but you can write them.
I suppose. Yeah. You can make the Matrix code come down your screen too.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
We've been hacked.
with the little crossbones.
But think about
Skull
it,
and
right?
crossbones.
It's the same thing as the War of the Worlds, but instead of the common cold, it's the
Yeah, they
common
got
email virus.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
got the
The aliens are like, oh, their leadership, this prince from Nigeria says that if we give him,
That's nice. If only they had spam bot, they'd be all right.
that'd be all right. Yeah.
All right. But that, yeah, the Independence Day comic will be coming out, I believe, later this month. Or, well, not this month yet. It's January. So We're not quite to January yet. So
No.
and also Secret Wars #9, not even planned at the beginning and much delayed end of the Secret Wars event will be released on January 13th, or so they say.
I've just felt obliged to buy these things. I don't know why, because I bought the first few and I was like, oh, it's going to be good. And it was a pretty good story.
Yeah.
It's still pretty good.
I'm
skeptical.
I'm waiting to because I read the first 3 or 4 and then I forgot, it was so delayed. I had forgotten the story.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wait till they're all out and I'm read them as
one
all
run.
one fell swoop. Because the original thing was, this is going to change everything in the Marvel Universe. We're stopping production of our other books till the end of this. Then we're going to relaunch all these different ones because it's going to change everything.
And then wait a minute, we
this stuff
relaunched everything.
Yeah,
midway,
all this stuff's
almost.
already relaunched because they couldn't get out of their own damn way and release the book on time. And sorry,
the art's good. The writing's good too.
The writing's good. The art's good.
Why so slow?
But it's an embarrassment. I mean, if you're gonna do this stuff, have your crap together, and get the stuff done. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. I mean, you can't make overreaching promises like this. And if something like this happens, you look like an idiot. I mean, it's really embarrassing for the company.
Yeah.
Especially
with the talent behind the book, it's going to hurt their careers. I mean, I doubt. I mean, Alex Ross is going to be.
I think Alex
forever.
Ross will be all right.
Yeah, he's probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
By the way, I friended him on Facebook. He accepted.
Oh, hey.
So that was nice.
I'm in.
Hey, and he's coming over for dinner. And he's a nice guy. He'll interact with you if you say hello to him and tell him you like his stuff. So.
Yeah, actually, last night I was on Facebook and one of my favorite Batman artists, Norm Brayfogle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right.
He's reached his limit for friends, so I can't. Anytime I try to send him a friend request, it just bounces back. But I can follow him, and he has had last year or maybe the year before, he had a stroke.
Oh.
So he can't draw now.
Oh, no.
And he's trying to train himself, get back to being able to draw.
Wow,
he's trying with his left hand.
Oh.
And he's drawing some with his left hand, and he's trying to strengthen his right hand enough to where he can get it to do what he wants. Wow, you can imagine that. That's just hell. Oh. Absolute hell right there. But he's concentrating on other creative outlets like his writing, and actually he posted a poem last night and then tagged on one of his old illustrations of Batman. It's a poem about Batman, and it's the love of the character. Because he was a kid reading Batman comics, and actually his first published work was a fan submission into Batman. I think it was for a new Robin costume.
Oh no, that was George Perez, wasn't it?
Maybe.
I forget who that was we talked about.
But no, it was Brayfogle, because he then was the one who created he didn't design the new costume because Neil Adams designed it.
Yeah.
But he was the first one to draw it.
In that Robin standalone
series.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's Drake, right? Tim Drake?
Yes.
Yep.
He was the third Robin. So he was a fan of Batman from the get-go, and his love for the character is still obviously very strong.
Awesome.
It's kind of cool, but because I'm just following him, I can't comment. So I can't
say awesome.
Yeah, I can't interact with him, and the fact that he's trying to recover from the stroke is just that breaks my heart because that dude is one of my favorite artists.
It's injustice.
Right? Yeah. So. But we were talking about delayed series like Secret Wars. Obi-Wan and the Obi-Wan and Anakin miniseries will be delayed. You said that you saw this at Heroes with a couple other series?
Yeah, there's a bunch of Marvel titles that were delayed. I wish I had taken a photo of the sign.
All the ones.
Yeah, there was about 6 or 7 titles there. And
wow.
they're like, we're really sorry. And then in parentheses it said, because they're jerks.
Yeah. I mean, there's your common denominator, is Marvel Comics.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm consuming anything Star Wars these days, so it's like I'm pumped about that. You know, the Chewbacca series is great.
That. Yeah, the Chewbacca series is really good.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to the C-3PO because that explains the red arm.
That's right. That'll be
see
February. Did we say that was?
I think so. Yeah.
But they bundled finally the Star Wars series going back to number 1. This latest one, and it's phenomenal. I've just enjoyed being able to read through and sort of go through. I'm definitely going to get the Darth Vader series when they bundle that. I got to chill with the floppies. I really like a bundled book.
Yeah. Because I mean, if a month goes by and God knows how long it might be on top of the month-long wait,
a lot of times breaks. Too many breaks in the story.
A lot of times you can forget what happened in the last one. So
right.
Yeah. So if you can get it bundled, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do that from now on.
And out today, comics that are coming out today from DC: Batman and Robin Eternal number 13, Batman Europa number 3, which is an awesome series.
Yeah.
Black Canary number 6. You got that one? You haven't read it yet?
I have not. I picked it up.
Okay.
Yep. I got the Dr. Fate number 7.
Yeah, Dr. Fate number 7 is out as well. Flash number 47. Harley Quinn and Power Girl number 6. Justice League 47. Multiversity 1 and 2 director's cut. Omega Men number 7, which that's canceled. That might be the last issue of that. I think it's been canceled.
Well, 66 got canceled. And
Batman 66 got canceled. But Superman, Lois and Clark number 3 is out. And that's a series I'm enjoying so far. I haven't read the third one, but the first 2 have been really good because this is pre-Flashpoint Superman living secretly in this world along with the other Superman. Like the New 52 Superman is in this world and has been outed as Clark Kent. So they're living out in the middle of nowhere with Superman with a beard, Lois, and their son, Jonathan. Because this is the Superman that was under the dome for a year. While he was under the dome, he was during Convergence, he was normal. They had a baby, but now it's a half Kryptonian baby. So he's going to eventually start to exhibit powers, and they're trying to stay hidden, make sure they stay hidden. But he's Superman. He can't just turn this off. He has to go help people.
So this is what the whole verse in that song "Rapper's Delight" about Superman is about. This came true.
There you go.
As you're telling me this, I'm just like, yep, I'm singing it in my head. I'll leave that for you for copyright. But it came true.
There you go.
It came true. Big Bank Hank. It came
he was
true.
A prophet. He was Nostradamus.
He was.
But yeah, it's an interesting series because I actually just read number 2, and somebody comes to visit to see what is he
isn't
called?
it Superman?
It's not Clark. It's what do they? I forgot what name he's.
Did he take on like a witness protection?
Yeah,
name?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And so he comes to see him, and Lois is like, oh, well, he had to go into town or something that she makes up, and it cuts to him underground holding up the Earth's crust, basically, where there's some guy who has a suit that can cause earthquakes. He's trying to cause earthquakes. He's underneath the Earth's crust holding it up to keep it from happening.
Oh, my God.
So yeah, like he can't shut that off, but he doesn't want to come out into the public
and be the big blue.
And be exactly, because he's not he talks about that when this world's Clark Kent was revealed as Superman, he thought about leaving and going somewhere else.
See, I don't know about any of this because I never read any of the New 52.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't. Yeah, I read a little bit, like when Lois revealed who he was, to try and figure out why she did that, and I still don't know. So I'm not sure why they did that. But of course, now with DC Comics, you've got so many different flavors going on now.
Yeah,
because everything's back now,
right?
And that's the thing. Why is this? It's interesting as far as storyline goes, but why is this Superman living here on this world?
Yeah, I don't know.
The multiverse is back. He should have his own world back.
Right, he should be able to. It'd be Earth 2 Superman, right?
Yeah,
I suppose.
exactly. Or whatever it was, Earth 84 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, like I said, it's interesting as far as a story point of view, because you get some interesting stuff like that, because he doesn't want to be out in the open. He wants this world's Cal to do his thing.
Yeah.
But he can't just shut it off. He's Superman.
So that little farm area is going to be really safe.
It's going to be really, really safe. Yeah. He actually he was in Chicago. He saved the guy trying to make an earthquake was in Chicago.
Well, good.
So that's where
Chicago's beautiful.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, number 3, Superman Lois Clark is out today. Superman annual number 3, Superman Wonder Woman 24, Superman Wonder Woman annual number 2, Wonder Woman number 47 is also out today. And from Marvel, the all new Wolverine number 3 is out. Captain America White number 5, Carnage number 3, Chewbacca number 5, Drax number 2. Howling Commandos of S.H.I.E.L.D. Number 3, Squadron Supreme number 2, and from Image, Savage Dragon number 210, and Spawn 259.
Whoa.
This is the issue where Eric Larson is working with Todd McFarlane again.
Classic.
So Todd McFarlane is actually working on it. Like, he's been the editor for a while. He hasn't been the active writer or artist for a long time.
Is he going to write or draw that?
He is writing it, and Larson is going to pencil it.
Oh, awesome. Because Larson's also a writer as well.
Yes, he is Savage Dragon.
That's it, right?
Yeah,
he's the
that's
sole.
what he still writes and draws that to this day. I mean, Todd McFarlane has always been involved with Spawn.
Yeah.
But he stopped being the writer fairly soon, like maybe a year or two into the run. Then he was the artist. Then he started just doing the covers, and then he was just basically kind of like the editorial. I mean, he's still in charge of it, and he still has his hands in it.
Yeah. He's not on the day-to-day.
But he's not on the day-to-day stuff
the
now.
cells.
This, I don't know why, but they probably just got together and went, you know what we should do? We should do a book. And so, yeah, this one, I'll pick it up. I mean, because it's interesting to see.
These old men.
These are the two of the creating minds behind Image Comics.
Yeah, I mean, they were the breakaway
and that was the thing. They had the swag to make this happen.
Yeah.
I mean, they were some of the biggest names in comics at the time, and they were able to go, you know what? We don't like how things are done. We're leaving and starting our own company.
Right. Brand new heroes, successful heroes too. It's like,
and I mean, I remember when it happened, it was a huge deal, and it sent, shockwaves through the comic industry because they had to change how they operated.
Well, I told you about I was so excited for all the number ones coming out. I thought, well, let me seize the opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
I traded away a lot of great X-Men books and stuff that I had collected. First appearances. Yeah, I had first appearance of Gambit, Forge, Cable, right? That New Mutants comic.
Yeah.
A ton of that stuff, like, because people were like, "Oh, I got a Spawn first run. If you want it."
I got it on eBay a couple months ago for $1.25.
Exactly. So
because they printed millions.
Exactly. But at the time, we didn't know that, know. So
and that's the thing. We didn't know Superman 75 was supposed to be huge because it was the death of Superman.
But everybody
wanted it, so they printed 1 million.
Right.
And so that makes the worth
worthless.
Worthless. Yeah.
But now, if have you seen openings of the Superman? If you open the bag after all these years, like everything inside is like deteriorates from the.
I just opened one and it wasn't.
Oh, and it was good.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Because I read online that like if you have the original one in the black baggie, that like something in it wasn't meant to last. That like something in it broke down, and people were complaining they would take out, and like pieces of it would be, I guess from how it was stored or whatever. But that's a classic problem with the baggies that like those shrink wrap plastic.
Everything came out of that one fine.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Because I bought it to make an art piece out of the whole Doomsday thing.
Oh, awesome!
But I forgot the one that was in the black baggie is the cover looks like a tombstone. I don't want that cover. Right. I want the cover that has his ripped cape caught on
right
beam.
On the with flying in the
in the breeze. I want that cover. So I bought that baggy one. Thankfully, it wasn't that expensive. And I got it, opened the bag, and was like, okay, that's not the one I want. So, damn, I got to go buy another one.
Oh, man.
So I got to find the newsstand version.
I
That's
might
the
have
one that
that.
has that cover. So.
I might have that.
Yeah.
It might be a second printing or a third printing, but yeah, if I have it, you can have it.
But I did get the black armband.
Yeah.
That has the
Everybody,
S symbol. Yeah, that was awesome. I remember that. I had, at the time, Chuck Charles and myself were at Heroes, and we brought our girlfriends at the time because you could only buy one copy.
Oh, right. So
per
there
person.
you go.
So
That's what
we
you do with
wanted
a
one,
girlfriend.
and then we wanted one to save. So they had to come and buy copies with us.
Well, they were not ladies to save. Now, were they?
That's right.
Nope. Where are they now?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Timmy D and Chucky Charles behind the music.
That's right.
Where are they now?
Yeah, you don't want to know. So, all right, well, that is a spin of the Comic Rack. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at the Year in Geek.
Awesome.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Your weekly dose of the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast, and we have reached the end of 2015.
Oh, my God.
So we'd like to take a moment to look back at this year, the Year in Geek, as we like to call it.
Yes.
And what has happened this year. I think the
So
biggest
much.
thing is June 8th was the first show that you and I did together
Oh, my God.
as the host of the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Wow, it was 28 shows ago.
That's
This is our
right,
28th
yes.
show.
So it's been 6 months. Yeah. June's, yeah. That's right?
It's amazing.
Yeah. For people who have listened to the Ninja Troll Digicast for a while, I used to be the host along with Chuck Charles and the lovely Laura, a.k.a. Dragon Mama. Unfortunately, they couldn't do the show anymore, so I asked Mike if he would join me, and he, like
You
a
said,
trooper,
Can we try one?
he jumped on the bandwagon, and we haven't stopped since. So
Like a good neighbor.
that's right. But I think that's the biggest thing that's happened this year. Everything else
That's
pales in
awesome.
comparison.
All right, we're done.
We're done. All right, we're
All
out
right,
of here.
for all of the news and geek culture, catch us on Facebook. Yeah, that was awesome, right? That was right in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was June 8th was the first show we did.
Yeah, so
It
school
was right
here at
before
Queens.
Heroes Con.
Right. Yeah, right. Because you were getting ready to go to Heroes Con,
Mm-hmm.
and you let me sort of piggyback the table, which I appreciated.
Yeah, no problem. You just sat down and started painting.
I did. Yeah. It's just, that's yeah.
Was
I took
it
a
at-
lunch table.
Wasn't at our table. It was one of the lunch tables right in front of us.
It's true. And I tweeted out, I was like, I've got a lunch table.
Yeah.
And then like,
I didn't have to pay for this table after all. Damn.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Hey, it
I
worked.
think we found the hack.
There you
for
go,
Heroes
yeah.
Con. Well, Tim, thanks for letting me do this because, like, I think we always say this. It's like we do this anyway.
Yeah,
we
we-
have these same conversations
Yeah,
right
we-
over lunch,
We have these conversations anyway. We're just now recording it, so it works.
but we didn't bring lunch this time. So
That's
it's-
true, yeah. That's the
we need
unfortunate
craft
part.
services.
We,
All right.
we need snacks.
But thanks to everybody for I mean our listenership has gone up, right? We've sort of
Yep,
gone into
absolutely.
new venues. Our iTunes stuff is really getting good. Spreaker's increasing,
Mhm.
right? We've kept the soul of what you guys created, which again, like I was a fan of, right?
Mm.
Before I even came on the show or did anything, I think I did a game review for you guys,
Yes,
right?
you did.
Last year, best games of 2014, I think
Yeah.
it was. I was a listener, and I loved like just the humor, and the rigor, like the amount of the depth that you guys went into. Like you were real fans, so it's like these
yeah.
are my people. You know, like I felt like cool. So when I was doing stuff, you know, I'd put on the Ninja Troll and you know mow the lawn and
There you
and,
go.
and churn the butter and you know milk the cows and stuff.
your
Shine the
chores done.
shoes, get my chores done, and. Oh man! So Tim, thank you for letting me join
Hey, that's
the
awesome,
wild
yeah.
ride.
Yeah, it is a wild ride. That is the truth. Well, we've compiled on regardless of that little happening.
Yeah.
We've compiled our list of big events from 2015. How we want to do this? What do you want to do?
Well, I did like, I broke them into our sort of segments, like comics, TV shows, movies. I even did my favorite crisis stories.
Okay, cool.
Which I thought would be a fun thing. But yeah, I mean, let's just go for it, and then I'll pepper in my spices.
Yeah, the biggest thing I've got is the number one thing for this year, even though it just happened, is got to be Star Wars.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's the biggest thing that, I mean, somebody who, like us, who have been fans as long as we have been, and have seen so many shows, movies, all this stuff,
books,
for us to be excited. And actually sitting there, and I can't speak for you, but I was sitting in the theater giddy like a little boy.
And I got the little tear moments where I was like,
as a grown man,
gasping.
As a grown man, I choked up several times during the movie, and not the times that you would specifically think.
No, it was like when a character would emerge, or like, it would be an epic shot or something.
Chewie, we're home. Oh. That got me.
Right.
And stuff like that. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I mean,
when the battle chest came up, I was like,
oh, yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But or the opening fanfare. I didn't really get choked up then because the dude in the theater had just went, yeah, which kind of, broke the tension.
Yeah.
But yeah, that fanfare hitting, and that's always been a thing for me, because you have that moment of silence in between. You see the long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And then you have that moment of silence, and then that fanfare just bang,
it's a pregnant moment.
Yeah, and it just hits you right between the eyes, and it's happening, and it's happening in the theater. That's the big thing for me. It's happening in the theater. This is a new one. This is something we get to experience all over again.
Did you do it in 3D?
No, I actually thought about, because Emma and I wanted to go to the Disney store on Monday. I thought about going to the IMAX. Because our friend Chris Carpenter saw it.
Oh, what did he say?
And he said in 3D IMAX, it's essentially like you're in the thing.
Oh, I bet. Because I saw 3D at Birkdale Village in Lake Norman area.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect it to be. I thought it was just going to be normal.
Yeah.
When I tell you, Tim, that like this is some of the best 3D I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Like I thought a Star Destroyer was going to poke my eye out. Seriously, there's a moment where it's like, or Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
Oh, the lightsaber coming right
you're
at
like,
you.
if you felt heat on your face for a second, like,
yeah. I thought about doing that for Emma and I going to the 3D IMAX.
Awesome.
But it's essentially $20.
I know
and I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's crazy expensive.
Yeah.
We didn't get IMAX, but good enough. Yeah, good enough.
Yeah, but it was just phenomenal, and it's blowing everything up. And again, the next segment we do after we get done with the Year in Geek, we'll be talking about
all that stuff.
We'll cover all that stuff. So, but yeah, that's got to be the biggest for me. That's the biggest event of the year.
Not Fantastic Four.
Oh God, what a big flop there. Yeah, I should have made another list of biggest farts of the year, and that would be one of them. So
that'd be all 10.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
But the next thing I've got is Batman Dark Knight 3. When it comes to comics, that's kind of the big thing.
Most anticipated series.
Absolutely,
I would say. Yeah, absolutely.
And so far, I mean, the second one wasn't as good. The first one hooked me.
And how many issues are there?
This is just the second one. The second one's out.
Well, how many will there be in total?
I think 6.
Okay.
I believe. But that's my thing is like, okay, if it's going to be 6 issues, let's get it moving.
Yeah.
Let's get, I mean,
we need a filler in a 6-part series.
A lot hasn't happened. I mean, so.
Was it to just deploy information? Was there like a lot of data or like backstory or what was the?
Just not a whole lot happened.
Just stuff.
I mean, something that could have happened, and we've talked about this before. Older comics jammed a whole lot more in. Now, modern day comics are more focused on the artwork and less on dialogue and story. So, like if you go back and you read Fantastic Four #1, If that was released now, that one issue was released now, it'd be an 8-part miniseries.
Because you punch yourself in the face with reading so much, right?
Yeah.
Weren't you telling me you read the first 10 issues?
Yeah, that was part of
Dr. Cobry's class?
Yeah, Mike Cobry here at Queens has a comic book and graphic novel class, and that was one of our assignments was the first 10 issues.
And you were like, I got this.
Oh, that's no problem. Yeah, I can read that one day. That, I mean, I'm serious.
And that's you, Tim.
Exactly.
You can like,
I read
you have like
fast.
osmosis.
So, but yeah, if just the first issue was released now, it'd be an 8-part miniseries. It's crazy. I mean, how much they would jam into those books. But if you read and doing the artwork that I do, I mostly focus on Silver Age, Bronze Age stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll notice if I do a Silver Age one, most of the stuff that I do is word balloons. It's text bubbles. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff where if you get into the 90s, it starts to tip over.
Pin up.
Where there's
epics.
Epic panels, big, huge splash pages, and all that stuff. And it's now gotten to where there's mostly all splash panels and big pages like that, and a lot less story being pushed along. And I think, unfortunately, the thing is, in a series that's only 6 issues, you got to go.
Well,
you gotta get something
hopefully
moving.
there's a big splash at issue 3, right? Because I know Tim, you fall off. I mean, this is one I'm sure you can stay with.
I'm in on this one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. It would take a lot to check me out of this one.
Okay.
But I want something to happen though. And there was a big reveal at the end of issue 2, just like there was a big reveal at the end of 1. But at the end of this one, it was like it was less of a surprise, like I want to see what's happening. It was more of a wait, what?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what's going on, but they need to hit the gas. They need to hit the gas.
And I think with this one, I'm appreciating your care to not give away too much.
Mm-hmm.
I want to read it when it's bundled.
Yeah.
I want it to be all collected and nice and.
Well, there was a death in issue 2.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, I'm not going to, but it's it shocked me.
Whoa.
Yeah, I did not see that one coming. So, and you did well. Come to think of it, you did get a decent amount of. I think what you got you have 2 different stories going on, and where I wanted more pushing forward with the main story, or what I look at as the main story, you got more push forward with what I look at as the secondary.
Oh,
that may become they may converge together and become the main story.
Okay,
and maybe that's what's going on, because you did get more push forward with the second story than you did with the first.
Gotcha.
So when I think about it now, maybe that's what's going on. You're forwarding this one while the other one's simmering a little bit, and then they come together, and it becomes a big issue, because what happened in the second one is going to be a big issue.
Yeah. Okay. So
it could be a problem
for a biggie.
Yeah.
I got one.
So see, I talked myself out of being mad now.
Look at that.
How's that?
You know what? Let's do that with Into Darkness.
That's not going to happen.
I got a biggie, I think, in the world of TV. I think, and I'm torn between these 2 moments. I think the crossover Legends of Today or Yesterday and Today crossover, where we revealed the Hawks and all that great stuff. I thought that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Ray Palmer comes back. I think those were incredible moments in Flash. But I think the reveal of Zoom as a character was, I think, got me the most excited about all those series. I mean, I think
it was very well done.
Killer.
And the guy's name, is it Tony Todd? Is that right?
Who plays
does
him?
The voice?
Oh, the Candyman guy.
Yeah. I think it's Tony Todd.
Forget his name. Yeah.
That's what sells it.
Yeah.
For me, is
so creepy.
His voice is just, it's crazy. Yeah, it's Tony Todd. It's just, that's what sells it.
And he's such a evil and powerful character that I'm just afraid of him. I mean, it's just like he, and the mask.
Yeah, the mask is
killer.
Crazy. Yeah.
So for me, I think that was one of the biggest moments, I think, there. On Also, I made a list of movies. I had Ant-Man.
I still haven't seen it. I got it for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
But we haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
So
Doctor Who got in the way.
Yeah. Doctor Who and Winter Soldier.
There you go. Well, all right. I won't say too much, but I think if you watch Ant-Man, I think you'll agree it's incredibly fun.
Cool.
It's like it's not as funny as Deadpool and irreverent as Deadpool, but it's funny. It's really funny.
But it needs to be because it's kind of goofy. I mean, just
a really wacky
the concept.
60s character.
Yeah. The concept is kind of campy.
It's like the Mylar bags.
Yeah. The Mystic Mylar bag.
Yeah.
Put Mephisto in it. Yeah. So I mean, it kind of needs to be a little, and I think you've got the perfect person with Paul Rudd, because he can do that. He can pull that off and be kind of the smarmy, jokey kind of guy.
Yeah. He was in a Halloween movie, by the way.
Was he?
Yeah. Halloween 5, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Or no, I think it was 6. The one where they like resurrect him with the seance.
Oh,
I don't know if you saw that
Season
one.
of the Witch, I think.
That was 3.
That's
when Michael Myers wasn't in it. And those masks made everybody leak out bugs.
Ew. Yikes.
Yep. Silver Shamrock.
That's right. Okay.
Sorry, randomly remember that.
We got off on a tangent there. But yeah, I do definitely want to see Ant-Man, because it's one of those that you kind of need to do, but it's not going to be, you know going in, it's not going to be one of the huge blockbusters. It's not going to be Iron Man. It's not going to be Captain America.
It could go away, Ant-Man, and fine. It was great. I think it was like self-contained, and it did what it needed to do. And like, I don't know, not everybody loved it.
Kind of like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
It's one of those that, it's difficult for him to carry a movie by himself. And I am a huge Incredible Hulk fan and would love to see another movie.
Yeah.
But I understand it's kind of hard for him to carry his own movie.
Yeah. And Ruffalo he's great, but he's great in Avengers. When it's
exactly.
a part of it, it's broken up. Yeah.
Yeah. And he kind of stole the show in the Avengers.
He did, because he's a so smart guy.
But again, it's more difficult to have somebody who can't really control, unless you, in the Avengers and Age of Ultron, he'd gotten to where he could control himself a lot more.
Yep.
But then you had people complaining that now all of a sudden, he can control himself. Well, yeah, he's been working on that for a good long time.
Right. Got to be the credible Hulk.
Exactly. Yeah, back up his sources.
That's right. With justice fists.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing Ant-Man. I have to watch it. So
I would say, as far as staying in the comic world, 2 things that were like epic, like breakout, game-changing things was Southern Bastards, as a series, but then also I think the Star Trek Green Lantern Spectrum War that you got me on from IDW.
Really,
it was awesome.
See, that's like my number 10. I have new series that I got hooked on, because I started to list different series. I was like, okay, I can't. I'll have a list of 30.
Yeah.
That's listed in my Southern Bastards, Squirrel Girl, Bloodshot Reborn, Batman Europa, Batman and Robin Eternal, and that's when I forgot that I need is the Star Trek Green Lantern.
It was so good.
The series is so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Even the way and I think it's going to continue.
That's nice.
Yeah. Have you not finished it yet?
I haven't finished it. No, I've got the last one. I just haven't read it yet.
They set it up so that this may go on, and besides, it has this Spectrum War. Right, which is sort of encompasses something. So I think it's gonna, it'll evolve, which is really cool.
That's pretty cool to hear. That's cool. But yeah, that's the different series that have come around, especially Southern Bastards. Was a wonderful surprise. Didn't really know what to expect from it. You pick it up and it
was like redneck comic. Like it
has such a different look to it. It's a stylized art,
really dirty,
art style.
Everybody's ugly and beat down, and
and it's you're not really sure what to expect from it. It's not obviously not a superhero book.
Nope.
It's got a different feel to it, but it's some of the best storytelling that you're going to see in recent memory.
People dance with snakes.
Oh yeah.
One man takes on an entire football team.
Yeah.
There's murder, there's like crazy tattoos.
And 4 issues in, the main character dies.
Yeah.
And it just evolves
Earl,
from there.
I know, right? I couldn't believe it. I was like, how do you do this?
But
He's the main character.
And that was the thing. I was waiting on you to get to that point, and I couldn't say anything.
I'm sure it was probably killing you because it was such a huge,
huge
change.
Yeah, but I couldn't say anything because that was just like you're sitting there at the end of the going, wait, what just happened? Did he die? What happened there? So yeah, it was.
And then
crazy.
You learn that Earl's daughter is, I guess he married a black woman, and they have a mixed race child, and she's in the military.
Yep.
And she's about to come home.
She's coming home.
So, damn.
It's gonna be bad.
There's gonna be some justice right there.
That's right. It's gonna be bad.
She's gonna, freak people out, just by the way she looks in this small little Kershaw County, Alabama, right? Whatever it is.
Is it Kershaw County?
I think it was, or Crenshaw.
Kershaw's in South Carolina.
Well, I think it's Shaw County.
Is it? Maybe.
I thought it was
I
Shaw
don't remember
County. But it's the town, the area that they're in.
Yeah.
And then like the Stick of Destiny. I mean, there's so many great, memorable, and the color. I mean, it's just the dialogue.
Coach Bob. And the choices that they made with the color.
Everything being red.
Yeah.
Or like a burnt color. And
it's all the red clay of Alabama.
There you go.
It's everything is tinged with that. And it's all the color choices, the art style. It's just it's off the chain. It's awesome.
And they had that one. They it's a very politically charged story, right? Mm-hmm. They don't really take a stance on stuff, but it's just the circumstance of the story.
The timing, yeah.
But they made a rebel flag cover right after it was taken down from the State House in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So that was a variant cover that they had done, and then they donated all the proceeds from that variant cover to the AME Zion Baptist Church
in Charleston.
Yeah. So it's like, wow.
And it's being made into a show.
It's FX?
I don't remember to tell you the truth.
Pick it up.
That's there. I mean, it's still in the embryo stages of it. Yeah. But
I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh my God.
Absolutely awesome.
Damn. Yeah.
Because it's one of the most well done. I mean, not just comics, but it's some of the most well done fiction that I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So.
And anybody can access this story. Like it feels like, oh well, maybe it's just for folks who are into that world, but it's like, no, I'm not in that world, and I dig it hard.
See, I grew up in a very rural. I mean, not Alabama, but I grew up in a very rural environment, and it's home for me. I could see those people. I can see
people and the characters and stuff, and
wow, absolutely.
One random series that like I doubt you picked up because it's in the kids section. Mm-hmm. So when I go to Heroes, I got books in my pull list, and then there's books that my daughter Addie she gets, Scooby Doo and Teen Titans, stuff like that. But there was a story. It was a 4-part story, and it came out like every other month because it's Image. But it was called Penny Dora and the Wishing Box. Mm-hmm. Now the cool thing about this story is that it was a story that a little girl who basically wrote this mini story in school and then took it home, and then her and her dad wrote it together into a comic book. And then they got an artist on board and everything, and like sold it to Image, and it's awesome. So it's about a little girl who like has a sordid past, and this magic box shows up on her doorstep, and it calls her to say, make a wish, right? So when she makes a wish, something happens. But then like the big bratty girl in her neighborhood says, I want to borrow that. And she goes, okay, but don't be bad with it. And like that girl just basically ruins the world.
Yeah.
And then Penny has to fix it. So it's an awesome comic, well drawn. Didn't come out as often as we would have liked, but I'll tell you what, it saved bedtime 4 times. But that was a series for me that was like, wow,
that's cool.
And in a kids section, it was like great story, great art, and it was just the total package.
Well, actually, off of that, part of my Christmas, Emma presented me with her idea for a comic.
Awesome.
She wants to write, and she's been working. She had been working feverishly on it to get it ready to present it to me.
Let's keep it so it's still patent pending.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that was something.
Awesome.
I mean, on top of the fact of the story she's coming up with, she wanted to get it ready to show to me. Awesome. As a Christmas present. And she said she wants to be a comic book writer.
Damn.
So it was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
You gotta be like, honey, well, first you gotta make a living.
exactly. Yeah. Find you a job you can fall back on.
Yeah.
Then you do that. So, but yeah, just, I mean, and that reminded me of it. That's, I mean, because she knows that there's weak spots in the write up, and she
Yeah.
wants to work on that.
Well, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's something that we'll be working on, hopefully pretty soon.
Well, you've produced a sample comic, right? When you
True,
took
yeah.
Digital Illustration Studio.
Yep.
You worked that up. You had a story you wrote
Yeah,
how many years ago? did
I
you
wrote
say?
it a couple years ago. Way harder than I thought to do it though. I mean,
You were like, out of all the people in the class, you had the like, oh, I got this look on your face.
oh yeah.
And then when you came back,
I got the story already. It's no problem.
everybody was like,
my
oh,
God.
wow, this was really tough. And you were like, dude, I don't know.
Man.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Eric Larson, who writes and draws Savage Dragon,
Whole new respect,
a
right?
whole new respect. Because when you're writing, and like I said, the story was written, had
Yeah.
been written for years.
Right. You're like, thought, oh, all I have to do
it's
is
no
adapt
problem.
this.
Yeah. Easy peasy. No problems. I was so wrong. So it was really hard. So
Well, that's cool. Well, I'm really glad to hear this because I've actually also been working on a comic,
cool.
and I have somewhat of it done, and I'm collaborating with Craig Renfro. I
Oh,
don't know
cool.
if you know,
Yep.
is he Dr. Renfro? I'm not sure.
I think so, yeah.
But I wrote a story and sort of showed it to him. He worked it up, and like we have a better story now. And I'm gonna start penciling it and put it together and everything.
Sweet.
And we should, as Emma works on hers, we should do desk shots, of the progress.
Yeah.
We should have a little reveal party.
Cool.
That would be
Let's do
fun.
that. That'd be a
You
good
got a
idea.
talented kid, man.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
She's
Yeah.
crazy, man. That's the thing. That the beauty part is she's 13, so I'm almost to the point to where Dad's gonna be stupid.
I don't think so, Tim. I think you
But
got.
see, she just got into comics and sci-fi and stuff, so I got at least a couple more years.
Dad, you're you're Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. So yeah, we're good with that. So, something else I had on the list for 2015 was, and this was, I never thought this would happen.
What you got?
Spider-Man returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, yeah, that was big, right? That was spectacular.
I never, because everybody thought, oh, no, wouldn't it be cool if he could be in the Marvel movies? And I was like, it ain't gonna happen. Sony is not gonna let that happen because they're gonna keep a death grip on those rights because Spider-Man was a moneymaker for them. Even Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, the Tobey Maguire one,
Yeah.
weren't that great, but they still made buckets of money.
Yeah. I mean, Jamie Foxx, right, was Electro.
That was it. Yeah, and
Was that the first one or the second?
that was
one?
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, it was the latest one, right?
Yeah, yes, because it was a Lizard Amazing Spider-Man.
Right.
But yeah, they still made lots of money, and they were setting up the Sinister Six movie, and they were setting up their own own little universe for Spider-Man.
Yeah,
So I thought-
2016. We got
there's-
Sinister Six.
There's no, it's still on the list, but I don't think they're gonna.
You don't think they're
I
gonna
don't
do
think
it?
they're gonna do it because they'll reboot the Spider-Man movies again, and it will have another path again. But yeah, I never thought that they would let go of it. I mean, people would mention it. I was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Well,
It blew my
you
mind.
don't cross-pollinate like that ever.
Yeah,
I mean-
exactly. Yeah, movie studios don't work together like that.
No.
It just doesn't happen.
But with there's so much gravity in that world, I mean, you can't keep that too far away.
Yeah.
But they're going to try it. We're going to see in Civil War if it works out.
Yeah, I think if everybody can make money, it'll work. And it seems like they've worked out a deal to where that's going to happen.
I'll tell you what, we were talking before. If the Spider-Man in the Civil War movie gets the armor, and then he doesn't have it in the
Yeah, it's
Spider-Man
gonna be
movie,
weird.
oh,
Yeah, well,
that's
he
gonna be
didn't
a
keep
hurt.
it forever in the comic book, so yeah, it was just for a little while. It was just a little gimmick, basically.
Yeah,
But it was something to say, oh, hey, he's with Iron Man.
Yeah, with Tony.
Yeah, he's with Tony. So, but yeah, that was a huge thing that I really never thought would happen. So, so that's a big deal this year. And from the back in the comics world, I've got these lumped together: Convergence and Secret Wars.
Yeah, totally. That was my 10. I had Convergence as 10,
Yeah,
and then my Secret Wars as 9.
yeah, because
Just 'cause it's obligatory.
because they were both interesting, but then disappointing at the same time. Secret Wars was almost
It was
like
better than Convergence.
It was the answer to like Convergence was bad, just bad, and Secret Wars comes along and I thought, okay, this is how you do it. This is Marvel showing DC how they do it.
And they had it.
And then they fumbled it.
They had it. Yeah, and they broke it.
They absolutely fumbled it. And just basically embarrassed themselves. And not because the story got bad or not because they screwed things up. And that was what bugged me about Convergence was the story didn't make a lot of sense.
But where they won was production. They were on time.
They were
everything
on time.
was boom, covers, variants, everything was great. Spin-offs all on time. Everything wrapped up nicely and neat. And then all of a sudden, new series comes out, right? You got Dr. Fate, Black Canary, all these new ones coming out.
They all worked just like dominoes. That's
perfect.
Everything was good.
But now you have the cart before the horse, so to speak, in the world of Marvel.
Yeah.
But they're still killing it. You know, it's like they can make this mistake and still afford to.
Exactly. They're so far ahead in the in sales that they can
tortoise in the hair. Yeah,
they can hit a bump like this and still be fine.
Yeah.
But if you continue to hit bumps like this,
you'll lose it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So Convergence was a mess, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense. But that's happened before. There's been the crisis stories that we've been covering from Exploring the Multiverse. There's been plenty that weren't that great.
No, not at all. But I'll tell you what I did that helped was I read all the side stories. I started to collect all those and everything and read those, like Crime Syndicate and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's basically what happens that year under the dome. Yeah. Because Convergence is that time, right? So it's the missing year, just like we've talked about like 52
1 year
and
later,
stuff. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So like if you have all that stuff, Convergence is contextualized. I don't want to say it's a great story. It has context.
I read some of them. I didn't read all of them.
Not all of them are great. Yeah.
And it was just. It didn't make a lot of sense why they were all of a sudden being made to fight. Didn't make any sense.
There was no motivation to.
Yeah, and even characters in the story were going, "Why should we fight them? Why should we do what this person is wanting us to do?"
Right. I mean, there was some villains around and stuff, and okay, but it was never anything really major. Yeah, and there was that random bad guy, Deimos or whatever. He was like a evil dude from back in the day. And
I had no idea who he was.
And then Brainiac was involved. Yeah. And then Telos, and it was like, okay, who?
Yeah, exactly. It was a mess.
It was another reconfiguration of the Crisis story, which I'm starting to see. There's a Matrix for the Crisis story. Like the sleeper villain, for example, like the one who's behind the scenes pulling the strings with the reveal.
That was definitely that, yeah.
And they had that. And then also bringing back a villain from a long time ago who's now more powerful, right? Or who is so mad that they're now back, right? Which we saw in 0 Hour.
Yeah.
But it was the bad mixture. It was like too much onion powder in that in that spice combination, you know?
Exactly.
That was like, this is delicious.
And then you got to, okay, if you want to undo the Crisis and create the multiverse again, okay, that's fine.
Right.
But you have to explain how you're doing it, because in Crisis on Infinite Earth, the explanation was we have to do this to create one world to keep the universe from being destroyed.
Right.
You say you're going to undo that, you have to go back and go, okay, well, how do you do that? Everything was going to be destroyed unless you did this.
Right.
So that didn't change, and the thing one of the huge things that bugged me was I guess it was Telos that said, Supergirl and Flash, you have to go back, and you have to play your part or unplay your part in Crisis. So you have to go fix that.
And then they came back, right?
They disappeared. We didn't see it.
Well, I think I didn't read the Flash comic, the spinoff.
I did,
Convergence.
and it
they didn't
happen.
Say anything about
it?
Oh.
Because the Flash Convergence was Wally. It wasn't Barry. Exactly.
Lame.
So the thing that I really wanted to see happen and explain things
would have been so cool.
Happened off camera.
Yeah, which is the worst thing in the world.
It bugged me. And now you have to have some type of explainer with the new comics now, because Batman Beyond is Tim Drake in the future.
Wow.
But Tim Drake is also in
Robin War.
Robin Wars. He's in the current storyline as Red Robin. Batman in the Batman comics is
the scruffy
is a scruffy bearded amnesiac
soup kitchen guy.
Yeah, kitchen guy. Yeah, who doesn't remember that he's actually Batman. And then he's starting to now. Which I think issue 50 is coming up. That's going to be the big.
But then in Justice League, right?
In Justice League, it's Bruce Wayne, and he's Batman.
In the Mobius chair.
He's on the Mobius chair.
Yeah, which is killer. Yeah.
So it's really cool.
It really is.
But still, it's like, okay, you read Justice League. Hey, you know what? I like him in the Mobius chair. Let me grab Batman. Wait, what? There's this bunny-looking
no
suit.
Mobius chair. Yeah.
No Mobius chair.
The Mobius suit.
Bruce Wayne is working in a soup kitchen.
But then you have your Batman Europa as well, and then the Batman Robin Eternal. I mean, there's a lot of
now stuff like that. You always kind of accept that it's kind of happening.
Lines.
Yeah, it's happening outside of continuity. Yeah. But if Jean-Paul Valley was as bad, they wouldn't have a thing. They wouldn't come out with a miniseries that had Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
they wouldn't do that.
No,
back then, they were trying to convince everybody that even though if you thought about it, it was going to be a gimmick and Bruce Wayne would be back.
Yeah.
But they were towing the line. Denny O'Neil, I saw him at Heroes Con one year and asked him when he thought Bruce Wayne would be back, and he said, "I don't think he'll ever be back." And of course, crushed me at the time. But looking back at it now, I was like, he was screwing with me. He was just pulling me along because that's what they have to do.
Well, they want you to buy the books.
Yeah, they want you to buy the books exactly. Right. Yeah. But yeah, it's just weird. There needs to be, like I said, some type of explainer for the different books. Like, okay, this is this world, or this is how. I mean, Earth 2 is the only spot where you have that kind of explanation. It's a separate world. Justice League and Batman and Batman Superman, they don't have those explainers anymore.
Right.
And so it's just weird.
And I mean, I do like though that they brought back all this stuff. So I mean, this is
I like
back to the pre-crisis
world.
It
opens up so many more possibilities that you can do. I mean, I like having Tim Drake. I like the story they're doing with Batman Beyond.
Yeah,
it's interesting and it's good, but I don't want him taken out of main continuity because I like him as Red Robin. So that gives me both of that.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Well, maybe that's with Multiverse back, right? Your thinking should change to say, oh, maybe they can be multiple selves. So.
Yeah, I think there needs to be some type of explainer on each book to say, this world has this, and this. But I don't know. You can't really do that. I mean,
I'll tell you what. It's like when Wolfman Perez did that History of the DC Universe, we should have one of those. It's time. Yeah. Like something that sort of explains the way things are now.
It's not a bad idea, yeah.
With the mythos.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's send an email.
Idea. Let's fire off an angry email.
Let's fire
But the Robin War, you mentioned that. I had just started, when we did our show 2 weeks ago, I had just started to read Robin War.
And you were saying you loved it.
I loved it. I'd only read a couple pages, and I already loved it. What I hadn't read yet was when Damian shows up in Gotham and finds all these kids running around saying they're Robin.
Oh, he's pissed.
Oh man, he fires up on them and to the point to where like something happens, like somebody attacks them. He goes in to like full attack mode, and they're all standing there slack-jawed, going, "Dude, I can't do that."
Yeah.
and he basically tells them constantly, "Because you're not Robin. You're not. I don't know. You're posers, pretenders," is what he calls them. And then Batman shows up, the Bat Bunny suit.
Oh God! Is it Conditioner Gordon?
Yes, exactly. And it was one of the funniest pages because it was a full page, but it was 4 panels. At the top panel, he asked him like, "Okay, so who are you?"
Yeah.
And he says, "I'm Batman." And then he looks around, like the next couple panels, he looks around like looking for the like the candid camera.
Yeah.
and he just goes, and then he jumps on him and starts beating the crap out of him. So it was like, okay, it was one of the, like the Dan Quayle. I knew Batman. He was my father, and you are no Batman.
Yeah. So, you, sir, are no Batman.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun with that because he's you know he's going to fire up on all these kids saying they're Robin. And then Batman shows up, and I hadn't even thought about that. But when he showed up, I was like, oh man, this is so much fun.
So Secret Wars sort of dropped the ball. They had it, they dropped the ball, and now they're paying the price for sort of, jumping the gun, jumping the shark, if you will.
Yeah, because everything they said they were going to reboot
is all out.
and
in issue 5 and 6 already,
yeah.
Because a lot of them are monthly or weeklies and monthlies. But I'll tell you what they did really well with Secret Wars was Deadpool's Secret Wars.
Yes.
That spin-off series was absolutely hilarious. Especially when he's made young and
he's got the porn stash.
Yeah, and he's all redheaded and he's like, "Hi."
Vintage 1970s.
I mean, just the way he would annoy the Beyonder and like,
yes.
I mean,
and Captain America.
Oh yeah,
he was always just ticking him off constantly.
Right, and Cap would be like, "Yeah, fine, come on, yes, help us." Yeah,
yeah. That series was really, really good.
That was very well done. I mean, I think of all the Secret Wars stuff to happen, I mean, Secret Wars is still pretty good. The art's beautiful.
That's the thing. Yeah, the story is really good. The art is beautiful, and it's a compelling story. It's just for me, it's become an embarrassment because of the production delays and the delay in putting his books out, and then somehow you're adding another one.
I know.
That's just weird.
I mean, the first few say this of 8, this of 8, and then I think the last 4 issues or so have the 9 on them. So it's like
it's weird. It's very weird.
Be worth money one day.
There you go.
I'm gonna bag and board them.
That's right. Yeah.
In the Mystic Mylar.
That's right.
Yeah.
Another thing I've got on my list, Daredevil.
As a TV show.
As the TV show.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
That was crazy.
Killer.
Yeah. And
D'Onofrio was amazing. Rosario Dawson was great.
And it was one of those things you weren't quite sure how Netflix was going to be able to pull it off. So you weren't quite sure. It was like, okay, what was it? House of Cards was a really good original series.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But it's a remake of a British show.
Yeah, exactly. Orange is the New Black was really good.
Killer. Yeah.
So this was almost like uncharted territories. We didn't know how Netflix was going to do with this, and taking a beloved Marvel product,
right? That didn't do well in the movies.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was interesting to see how they did it, and I think they knocked it out of the park.
Oh,
completely.
So good. Especially keeping him in that like ninja costume for almost the whole first season.
Frank Miller's Daredevil Year One.
Oh wow!
Because
that's what that looked like.
Yeah,
I never read that. So that's what the costume or a form of it.
Yep, he started off in the black costume, and it was organic on the show because he learned, hey, I'm getting the crap kicked out of me. I need to protect myself.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many times you can take a punch.
Right.
And so he evolved in the show to go, okay, I need armor.
I need Edna to make me a suit.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was extremely well done, and Vincent D'Onofrio was Kingpin, stepped out of the panel.
Unbelievable.
I mean, he looked absolutely awesome.
He really did. He acted like him. I love the flashbacks and stuff when you see him kill his dad and stuff. I mean, like dark show.
And the way they introduced him, you get an entire episode of him. He's just a guy taking a woman out on a date. He's almost painfully shy, asking her out. They have a little flirting banter. He's not good at it, but she is, and she sees that he's interested, but he doesn't really know how to do it, so she playfully kind of plays with him. You root for him the entire time. You want him to do well. And then the episode ends with him decapitating somebody with a car door. And you're just like, holy crap. It was, but in that one episode, it showed you the character.
How publicly facing he is. Yeah.
He's not a one-dimensional character.
He's a mob boss or Capone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He is a fully formed person. He's a three-dimensional character, and it's not a gray area. I mean, it's not a black or white thing. Everybody is that way. There's certain parts of them that are good. There's certain parts of them that are bad.
Right.
He is ruthless. because that's what he's been taught.
Yes.
And that's what he's been taught that is most useful in this world. And that's why he is the way he is. I think it was just masterfully done. The entire series was masterfully done. And hats off to, I don't remember the kid's name, who played Foggy.
Oh,
he was in the...
he's in the Mighty Ducks.
He's in the Mighty Ducks. That's exactly what I was about to say.
I forget his name. Yeah.
But he did such an awesome job when he found out.
Oh, yeah.
He was betrayed and mad. And
it took him a minute to kind of want to say like, "Oh, I'll help."
Absolutely, yeah. It was a good 3-dimensional thing.
Right.
He didn't just go, "Oh, okay, cool," and now he's on he's the sidekick.
That happens in other shows, and we accept it. Yeah,
it's just not that well done. They did not take that tour here.
And the lady who plays Karen,
yes,
she's great. I mean, you really feel like, whoa, she's done for in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
You sort of see like what she's getting into,
mm-hmm.
and it's she's not even still entirely safe with Daredevil,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, don't go out, don't go outside.
Yeah, it'd be interesting how they see where they go with her character, whether they follow the
like where she trades him in
the comic, yeah, because she becomes a junkie and just kind of disappears from their world.
Well, she's got a past. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
What all happens?
Could be. So, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in waiting on season 2, and not as big of a deal, but Jessica Jones followed it up. Then you got Power Man coming and Iron Fist coming.
Iron Fist, yeah.
So yeah, Netflix has done extremely well with that series at least. So
on the cartoon side, I had the Awesomes on the Hulu on the Hulus. Yeah, it's a Hulu original series. It's really good. It's basically a funny Watchmen.
Okay.
Where they spoof heroes. So there's like a Black Canary type character, Gadget Girl. The main guy is the son of Awesome Man, who is like, they all retire. Like the original Awesomes retire, and then his son was supposed to take it over, and they were like, "But you don't have any powers, son." But he really does. He has the power to slow down time.
Okay.
But every time he does it, his nose bleeds, so it kills him. And he's a professor doctor, so they call him Proc. It's really good. Yeah, and then there's his assistant's name is Concierge, and she's like a Felicity pretty much, but she can like really kick butt, more so.
Yeah.
And there's a kind of a genie type guy who I think Kenan Thompson does the narration for. Mm-hmm. I forget his name, the great something, but he does all magic stuff, but he always gets it wrong. And then there's a speedster who's cracked out.
Of course.
And then I'm forgetting, there's a couple others, but really great show.
That sounds really good.
The bad guy's name is Malokio, and like his daughter infiltrates the team, and like some of the older heroes come back sometimes. It's really worth watching if you got Hulu. Seth Meyers created it, and he's the voice of Proc.
Oh, okay.
So if you can catch a trailer for season 1, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I need to see if I can find. I don't have Hulu, but I might have to think about getting that because that sounds really, really good. So it sounds almost like The Tick.
Very much so, or like Drawn Together.
Yeah,
but it's not a reality show. It's way better. It's really funny.
Yeah.
And it's like they really the people who write the show and are in it know comics.
Yeah.
And what was great about it was after reading all these crisis stories and seeing JLA JSA crossover, it was like verbatim. And I was like, oh my god,
all the same old beats. Yeah.
So I had that as like a adult side cartoon.
Yeah.
Which I thought was good. And then the two others I had was Star Wars Rebels, which is canon, right? Mm-hmm. That and Clone Wars are all canon.
Yeah.
And that's the newest cartoon. Clone Wars I think has ended.
I think so, yeah.
And then I know you probably hate this one, but Teen Titans Go is absolutely hilarious.
I understand.
You got to just look up funny moments in Teen Titans Go.
I understand the appeal for you.
I love it. I really because it's like I'm still learning DC, so to connect to these things through the casual experiences where there's not a crisis, it's good.
Yeah.
like in their headquarters, for example, they were sitting around eating pizza, and they get like they eat so much of it that they're all bloated and stuff, and they can't go fight crime. And there's like a dark side doll, like leaning against the couch. You know what I mean? There's like stuff like this.
Kind of weird, out of nowhere.
And Cyborg can shoot meatballs out of his cannon arm.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And his arm extends, and he's like, they really
gadget arm.
Play it up well. Yeah, exactly. Or like Beast Boy will turn into a T-Rex and like try to fight, you know. And Robin is obsessed with working out and being a leader and all that stuff.
Is it Dick Grayson? Or
It's
do they
Dick
even
Grayson.
say? Okay.
Yeah, it's Dick Grayson.
Okay.
But it's like Dick Grayson that looks like Jason. That looks like Tim Drake.
Tim Drake. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the spiked hair, and it's
which now they've in Batman and Robin Eternal they do flashbacks to when Dick.
Oh, and he's got the soft comb.
No, it's like Tim Drake.
Oh.
The flashback to the old Robin suit is completely.
It's not 60s.
Yeah, not 60s
wow.
at all. Yeah.
But like there was one episode where somebody with electrical power shocked him, and his hair went back to old Dick Grayson style from the 60s, and he couldn't fix it. And he has like a closet full of Robin gel that he uses in his hair. That's what I'm saying. You got to watch it. It's really funny.
Yeah.
And like Hive will attack all the time,
Yeah.
and I mean it's really good. Aqualad's on the show, and Kid Flash sometimes, and it's really funny.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out. Something I had on my list was a movie, The Martian.
Oh,
huge deal.
That could be a book too, right? As the top books for the year
exactly.
as well.
Well, that was the thing. Before the movie even came, before I even saw the trailer, I was excited about the movie because that was the best book I had read in probably 3-4 years. So I was really excited about it, and then they killed it. Have you seen it yet?
I'm not.
Okay.
No, I keep.
Yeah, when it comes out, as soon as it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray, I've got it, so I'll let you borrow it.
You still buy discs? You don't get digital copies? Well, I guess you can get digital copies, right? With some of the deals.
Yeah, I'm kind of half and half. Sometimes I'll get the disc, and sometimes digital copy. I like having the physical disc. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's.
I go all digital now.
Yeah.
Even some of our old Disney movies, like if you have Disney movies that have the like Disney Anywhere, you can then like, for example, we have a Apple TV. Yeah, so it shows up on our Apple TV if you plug it in correctly. But I'm excited about that movie. I mean, it looks great. It got fantastic reviews.
Yeah, and it doesn't take shortcuts. That was the biggest thing I loved about the book. It didn't take shortcuts. They had to fix every problem. And it was, and even they took out a couple of obstacles that they had to deal with in the book, and it still held together really, really well.
Nice.
And kudos to Matt Damon. They may have done a lot with makeup and CG, but he obviously dropped a crap load of weight.
There was a report about that like it was really unhealthy for him and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure, because he looked.
Real
bad
malnutritious.
Off. Yeah, he looked bad off.
I can't wait to see what Martian potatoes look like.
It pretty much looked just like potatoes.
But I mean, Age of Ultron was
I have that on my list as well. Yeah,
and pretty awesome. I had put Ant-Man, but I know you hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
The Disney movie Pixar Inside Out. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't seen that. No, but yeah, that
really
was
good.
A big deal. Yeah,
really good.
Yeah. And something I have is the female Thor revealed to be Jane Foster.
Yeah. Oh, that was huge.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big deal in comics. I mean, and she's still there, but she's in her human form. She has cancer and she's dying.
Oh wow!
But when she turns into Thor, she's fine.
Yeah.
So and then
it's all the mead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out, where he is, because he became not worthy to lift the hammer.
Oh wow!
Because of something that happened with the whole thing with the Watcher, when the Watcher's eye exploded and all the secrets got out. Nick Fury whispered something into his ear, and whatever he whispered in his ear made him not worthy, so he couldn't pick up Mjolnir anymore.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what he said to him.
I don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah. You didn't put the seed down.
You left the stove.
Yeah. Well, maybe Jane Foster. She's on the Asgardian Kush. That's helping with the cancers.
Maybe.
And then an animated DC movie that I loved was The Crisis Between Two Earths, which was the sort of the taking of Crisis between Earth 1, or Crisis on Earth 1 and Earth 2 and Earth 3, those crossover stories, and then mashed them up into one movie.
Yeah.
So you got to see the crime syndicate in action. And they were badass.
Yeah.
It was great.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I had as a lower number item on the movies, just because it was really good, but it was animated.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Gods and Monsters came out this year.
Yeah.
Justice League, and then I guess is Throne of Atlantis come out this year as well?
I think
That's
it's supposed to come out next year, like early next year, maybe.
Was it not out yet? I thought it was out.
I don't know.
Atlantis.
Come to think of it, I know there's a Batman Bad Blood that's coming out soon. And kind of the same thing where Batman's missing. It's kind of like Batman and Robin Eternal. Batman is missing, but they have to do stuff and fix issues. And so Dick Grayson has to take the leadership role and take over. And you have Batwoman, Batwing, and I think Batgirl in it as well. So it's like the whole family, basically.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah, that's coming out soon. The last thing I have on my list is not a great thing. I should have done it earlier, so I didn't end on a bad note. But the Robo Bat Bunny. I hate it so bad. I hate it. And I know it's a gimmick, and I know it's not going to last long. He'll be back, but it'll lead into a thing to where he's fighting the corporate Batman, because it's Jim Gordon right now, but Jim Gordon is already bucking that he wants to be able to be autonomous, because it's a corporation, the Powers Corporation, which bought Wayne Tech.
Yeah.
Is the
ones who run him, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Monitor his cameras and his microphones, right?
And he wants to be. He actually went to Bruce Wayne to get him to help him, because he said, "You ran Batman Incorporated, so if anybody can help me be autonomous, it'd be you." But of course, Bruce has no memory of that, so he can't help him with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to end up. Bruce is going to come back as Batman. That then you're going to have the real Batman fighting the corporate Batman, like The Rock, the corporate, the people's elbow and the corporate elbow. So I think it's going to lead into something like that, and where and he's not commissioner anymore. He's just Jim Gordon.
Jim Gordon.
Where he lands, of course, will be with the real Batman. And in the, I don't know if it was Grayson or in the Robin War book that was part of the Grayson book that was part of Robin War, but the two of them are operating together. And if Jim Gordon doesn't know who Batman was, he's a complete idiot. Because Dick Grayson, everybody knows now that Nightwing was Dick Grayson, because the Crime Syndicate revealed that right before they killed him. And that was air quotes for everybody listening that didn't see me do air quotes. But so the entire world knows that Dick Grayson was Nightwing.
So they should know.
And he knows that Dick Grayson was
the ward of
Bruce Wayne. Of Bruce Wayne. If he can't figure out who Batman was, he's an idiot.
It's Alfred.
So, but yeah, the whole thing of that and the lead up to that, where I've not been. You're not going to find a bigger Batman fan than me, but their choices in the Batman book this year have not been great. They made the Joker into this mystical creature who's been around for hundreds of years. Yeah, exactly.
Like a Vandal Savage type.
He has some. That was what led to Bruce being the way he is. He has this serum that he takes that keeps him alive.
Oh.
And they had this fight in the Batcave. The Batcave collapsed on them. They were crushed, but the serum was down there and it seeped into Bruce's brain and it repaired his brain, but it basically created a blank slate.
Oh, that's
why he doesn't know he's Batman.
That's how we get to this point
exactly.
Now. Interesting.
And at the end of the issue I've just read, he's sitting on a park bench trying to wrap his head around the fact that he may be Batman. and is coming to him, and somebody comes and sits down next to him, and it's the Joker, and he doesn't know who he is either. So it's like I said, it's they've not exactly made what I think are the best choices this year, and I hope. But the thing is, a new team comes in and they'll just wipe all that out and they'll be back to business as usual. So that's just the way comics are. So
yeah. And my last sort of unique comic, I think here, Shattered Empire.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Star Wars: The Journey to the Force Awakens.
Yeah,
it's the aftermath story of Jedi, and a lot of nice details in there, you know, about what sort of connects to the movie. I just want to mention it because some of the details we're going to talk about when we do our Force Awakens review.
Yeah.
But that was an excellent series. You go on an adventure with all the major characters, following this one. I forget her name, but
Cher,
right? And then she marries Poe Dameron's father.
She's Poe Dameron's mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you find out at the end of that, that Poe grew up right next to a Force tree, so he's probably Force sensitive as well.
Could be.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But that is our look back at 2015. Now to do a look forward, we've got things coming up next year. We talked about Supergirl debuting or coming back January 4th. iZombie will come back the next week, January 12th. Agent Carter starts January 19th. That's season 2. The second part of season 2 of The Flash starts the same night.
Yep.
Then Arrow starts the next night, restarts the next night.
What season are we on Arrow?
4.
Fourth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Legends of Tomorrow then debuts its first season the night after, and I've heard somebody that reviewed it said it was the best DC pilot yet.
Whoa.
So that could be interesting.
Well, you've had so much lead up to it, you know.
It's true,
you know kind of what's up.
Yeah, it's the world is already built. You don't have to do that anymore.
Well, hopefully they're just going to do great things in the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then the X-Files, I think that would be Sunday,
the 24th. It would make sense for a
that's
the
Sunday,
X-Files.
Which it was always a Sunday show. So it will come back for, I think it's 6 episodes.
Right, that's all they got slated for, right?
Yeah. Yep. But that will be January 24th. Then Lucifer will be on Fox January 25th.
Cool.
Deadpool will be in theaters February 12th. The Walking Dead returns Sunday, Valentine's Day, February 14th.
Yes.
Nothing says love like zombies.
When is the Superb Owl?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. It's usually right at the 1st of February. Yeah.
Okay, that's where the gap there makes sense.
Gotham returns February 29th. That's a long layoff.
Yeah.
That's a really long layoff. That's weird.
Same with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. re-debuts March 8th, but they've got Agent Carter to fill in that spot.
Okay. Which
maybe Lucifer is going to fill that spot for that. Maybe that's the reason that Gotham is so late coming back, because Lucifer is going to fill that spot.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That might be. Yeah, because it's
a shorter
it's on Monday.
shows.
It's January 25th. This is Monday, and it's going to be on Fox. So that may be what's going on there.
That makes sense.
It's a mid-season deal to just fill in that hiatus.
Yeah.
Then the big one, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, March 25th.
That's awesome.
Cannot wait for that one.
That's going to be great.
The Huntsman: Winter's War with Chris Hemsworth will be April 22nd.
Oh, cool.
Black Panther, the new comic book by Ta-Nehisi Coates and Brian Stelfreeze, it will be out in April.
Awesome.
Right before his big screen debut in Captain America: Civil War on May 6th.
Killer.
Then May 27th, X-Men Apocalypse. Then June 3rd, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows. That's the second one, and Stephen Amell will be playing Casey Jones in that one.
I saw that. That looks great.
He looks really good, too.
Yeah, he does. He's a good Casey Jones.
Then the Warcraft movie that's been bouncing around for a long, long time.
That's great.
It's finally being made. It's going to be out June 10th.
You see a trailer for it?
I haven't seen the trailer yet.
Looks good.
Does it? Okay.
So the orcs are the bad guys.
Yeah.
But they're the heroes. So you follow them because they're like something's threatening their land.
Oh, okay.
And they go towards where the humans live. And then the humans are like, "What are you doing here?" And they're like, "We're going to die." And they're like, "Yes, you are." I won't say any more,
Okay, cool.
but it looks good.
Cool. I have to check that out. An Independence Day Resurgence will be out June 24th. Star Trek Beyond, July 8th.
Nice.
Ghostbusters will be out July 15th. Then on August 5th, it will be Suicide Squad. I guess the last Resident Evil movie until they decide they can make a little more money out of it. Resident Evil, the final chapter, will be out September 2nd. Then October 7th is slated for Gambit. That might be pushed back a little bit.
No, yet. Yeah, that's not solidified.
That may be pushed back a little bit.
Yep.
But November 4th is Doctor Strange. Then Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. November
Harry
18th.
Potter.
The Harry Potter
Prequel. Yeah,
basically. It's set
in New York.
70 years before he was born.
Yeah, so the actor who played Hawking in Theory of Everything, yeah, he comes to the United States with a case full of beasts, and
crazy stuff.
That it's supposed to be pretty. But if you've seen Harry Potter, you read the books. A lot of the beasts that we encounter are connected.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
and some of them are even there. So that remember when Aragorn says, "I came in the pocket of a traveler."
Oh yeah,
that has a connection that I've heard.
Okay,
so good stuff.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Then after that, we're right back again in December. Rogue One, the first of the Star Wars anthology movies.
Sweet.
So this will be set before A New Hope.
Cool.
So this will be kind of the
Rebels,
the Resistance before the whole attack on the Death Star and all that stuff.
When's the Han Solo movie supposed to come out?
That'll be the next year.
That's next year. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. 16 is the is Rogue One.
Yep.
Then 17 will be Episode 8.
And then Han Solo?
Then Han Solo.
Okay.
And because it's going to be every other year will be an episode movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the off years will be an anthology movie.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we've got a lot scheduled for the coming up. And but they're casting for Han Solo.
Oh.
So like every young actor in Hollywood is beating each other with a stick to get that part.
I just hope it's not like Zac Efron.
Oh God.
Or like Justin Bieber.
Chandler Riggs has read for the part.
Really?
Carl from Walking Dead.
I'm saying, yeah, that'd be incredible.
I think that would be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally see it. So.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. But also in December, Assassin's Creed will be December 21st. Then also at some point, we're not sure when, we have Preacher, which will start on AMC. That needs to be announced.
Cool.
Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil Season 2, which we all talked about earlier, will be this year, but we just don't know when.
They're doing a lot of lead up for Daredevil, so I wonder. And I've read some stuff about Luke Cage, like talking about if he'll have the yellow shirt, or what, or
the tiara.
Yeah, the tiara.
It was awesome.
Tiara of Justice.
So, yeah, that is all coming up. We just don't know exactly when it's going to happen. So, but that's a look at, as we call it, the year that our money disappears.
Totally. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, damn, how am I going to see all this stuff?
There's a lot of movies coming out that I'm going to want to see in the theater. Because that's the thing. There's movies that you're fine to wait until they come out, but there's some that you need to go see in the theater.
What are you going to go see in the theater? What have you identified as theater only?
Batman, Superman, of course.
Perfect. Yep.
It's got to be. Deadpool has got to be.
Totally.
Let's see here. Civil War, got to be.
X-Men?
I'm leaning towards X-Men. I mean, I need to catch up because I haven't seen.
First Class and
Days of Future Past. I haven't watched.
Oh, I didn't bring that for you. I'm sorry. I meant to.
Okay.
The bundled Days of Future. Just remind me, please.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I need to catch up, but that may be one of those that you kind of need to see in the theater because it loses a little bit if you don't.
I mean, it's going to be grand. It's going to be awesome, but yeah, I don't know. I've kind of lost the X-Men love a little bit. I don't know why. They don't appeal to me like they used to.
Yeah, the bloom may be off the rose a little bit. But Star Trek Beyond, of course.
Definitely.
I'll go see that.
Yeah. Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters, I'm on the fence about.
Fun movie night at home.
Yeah, it'd be a fun movie night at home. I may look at the reviews and see
how it does.
In the trailer when they start putting out trailers.
Yeah.
See how it looks. Suicide Squad, of course, is I'm going. If Gambit makes it out when it's supposed to be, I think also I'd like to go see that one as well. Doctor Strange, I'm on the fence about.
Yeah.
And Rogue One, of course, I'm going to see.
Nice.
Because I'm really interested to see how they do this. It's outside the episode structure.
That's cool.
So yeah,
it'll be a little
different. It'll be a little
stuff.
a little freer to do stuff and like a little mini-sodes. Yeah, that'd be good.
Like I've always loved like when in the games and stuff when you can go like shoot what are they womp rats in Beggar's Canyon?
Yes. Yep.
I mean like that's incredible with that weird looking like Lambda class shuttle type thing. Okay, so I got 8 movies.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's the common price for a ticket these days?
Probably about $12-13.
Okay.
And then I've got to take my daughter. Except Deadpool. I've told her many times.
Yeah, she might have to wait on Deadpool.
You're not going to see that.
That's right. She's got to have her bat mitzvah first.
Yeah. It's going to be a while.
That's awesome.
But yeah, there's quite a few that's going to be that you have to go see in the theater.
And there's so much TV.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's enough TV to take us through. And when does Game of Thrones come back?
I don't think they've announced it. Sometime this year.
Yeah, it will be.
Like first quarter, probably.
And then what was that show you were telling me about that's going to be on MTV? That's like a sci-fi fantasy series that you were telling me about that's on MTV. You talked about it once a couple shows back. Let's see, MTV fantasy series. The Shannara Chronicles.
Oh yeah, that actually in the next couple of weeks it should premiere.
Cool. Yeah. Sorry. Here we go. Premieres January 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, next week.
It's a 2-hour series premiere.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, we might have to check that out too. Yeah, that's that should be a good.
It's on late. It's on at 10, so it'll go to midnight.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's less. That's less of a big deal now with DVRs.
I guess so.
I mean,
right.
I don't know how many people actually watch stuff live anymore. It's just you record it, you wake up the next day, it's on there, and you watch it whenever.
Yeah.
So.
And it'll probably be because MTV ports their stuff to Hulu. I bet it'll be on there.
Probably.
That's generally how I get mine. That's my DVR.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's a look at
how we go broke.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we go broke. Yeah, that's a look at the year ahead. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, begins the spoiler-filled section of the show. So if you haven't seen Star Wars, this is your warning. Go back.
Yes.
Go watch it. Stop the show now. Watch it. Go watch Star Wars, and then come back and listen to the rest of the show because there be spoilers here.
But keep it on pause
because
as soon as you finish the movie, you're going to be like,
I gotta go.
You're going to want to have the discussion with us that we're about to have.
There you go.
Stay tuned.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go fish that.
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Like you angry? Dr. Banner, we need you angry. That'll do. The Ninja Troll Digicast. The only podcast with a kick.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. And again, this is your warning. If you haven't seen Star Wars, turn back now.
Yeah.
Turn back now. Yeah. Because from this point on, we will have spoilers.
Tons of spoilers.
Yes. So the biggest thing for me, and we talked a little bit about this, it was the fun of it.
It was intense.
It was very intense. Yeah.
I mean, I have it like that when the stormtroopers start killing people, and I mean that was damn. I mean that was rough to watch.
Yeah.
Because I was like, damn, this looks like World War II, you know, or like some genocide. And it's like, and Captain Phasma, damn, she's dark.
I wish we got more of her. That was
we didn't even see her face, did we?
Nope, never did.
Yeah,
never did. And she was on Starkiller base, as well as Kylo Ren. So they're back for the next movie.
Yeah.
So how did they get off of there before it blew sky high?
Well, what's his name? General Hux.
Yeah.
Said.
Did he get off there too?
Well, Snoke said to him like,
"Get out,
get Kylo Ren and meet me at the rendezvous point or whatever, and come to me." Right? He says like just before the end. So I'm sure.
Okay. So
Phasma and that group all. Yeah, we didn't really. They did a lot of off-screen stuff. There was a lot of left to sort of wonder.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this was obviously the first part of a bigger, like A New Hope. It was all encapsulated because they didn't know they were going to get another one.
Nope. Yeah.
This one is obviously part one of a larger thing.
Well, there was one cliffhanger in A New Hope that they didn't answer. Why didn't
Chewie
Chewie get a damn medal?
Why didn't Chewie get a damn medal? And the funny thing was, I actually read something about that. The real reason they did that,
why?
Is because Carrie Fisher couldn't reach up that high. They would have had to have some type of like
little
platform to her step up on or something like that. That was kind of the real reason that they didn't do that.
But what's his name who plays him? Peter Mayhew, right? Yeah. He couldn't duck down?
I don't know. I mean...
No, it wasn't in his contract.
Yeah, I guess not, yeah. but yeah, that was like kind of the real reason that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that sucks, but hey.
But just sort of thinking overall, I mean, here we see Rey, she's this scavenger, like those epic scenes inside of the Death Star engines or the Star Destroyer engines and stuff.
Awesome.
And then her going to get the food and it melt and it like that was a very tactile moment for me in the film, where it was like, damn, she's poor.
This is her existence. She's I mean, there's no TV. She's living in a damn AT-AT. How cool is that? A crashed AT-AT.
Right.
And yeah, she's poor. I mean, she goes and works all day picking up this crap
just to eat.
To get food. That's what she's getting.
Yeah.
It's not like cash to go buy a DVD. That's food. That's, I mean, what she lives off of.
Totally.
And yeah, it's a crazy existence, like dirt poor existence on that planet. And she's obviously, you get a little flashback when she touches the lightsaber of her being left there.
Yeah.
So,
and we see who her caretaker is.
Well, did we see the caretaker?
Or whoever was there to...
She was standing there next to somebody, but we didn't see who it was.
No, and we're supposed to know who that is. That's going to be an important person, I guess. At some point.
That was my question. It was like, okay, who is she being left with?
Yeah.
And we started off, we got Max von Sydow, his character. I want to know who he is and where, because he refers to
Princess
Leia as royalty.
Yeah.
So he's obviously an old school dude.
Yeah.
So maybe he's an old senator.
Could be. Yeah, could we? Or Alderaanian or something like that.
Yeah.
One thing I thought was interesting was that when we saw on like the decks of some of on the bridges of the Star Destroyers, were some of the original guys who played the Imperials.
Yeah.
Who I guess lived or whatever from.
Yeah, they made it through.
They made it through. Yeah. There's one guy in particular who I recognized. And I wasn't sure if it was him or not. The one who they're like shuttle Tidarian, please blah blah blah. And
wow!
And then that guy, and then Vader says to him like, who was on that shuttle, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, it's an older code, sir, but it checks out. And he's like, let them. He's like, lead them to me. Yeah. And he knows it's Luke. I think that guy survived.
He made it through
somehow. Yeah, and he was. Because I saw him later, and I was like, get it together, okay? Come on. But I think, sort of, before we get into sort of our prompt questions, we're also going to talk about some theories.
Yeah.
I went and looked at all the theories. You have some theories as well, and we're going to try and sort of paint that picture a little bit. I also did sort of a summary of Shattered Empire and a little bit of Aftermath, Chuck Wendig's novel Aftermath.
So I've got it. I just haven't read it.
It's good. It's good. There's some really good parts in there. A lot of little vignettes and stuff.
Yeah.
But my sort of overall thing was it had a lot of the same feeling as A New Hope.
Yeah.
But fresh. More intense, more thrilling, more mysterious, because I know stuff going into the movie, it made it like, whoa, like you got to go into this movie with context. If you go at it kind of raw, it's a little hard to truly enjoy it, I think. I've seen some folks sort of comment that like it's just a remake of A New Hope. So like, I was like, oh, well, it's a newer Hope, now with more hope.
There you go.
I mean, which could be very much the truth, but nah, I loved it.
Yeah,
I was blown away.
I completely loved it. I mean, and it did hit a lot of the similar beats.
Right.
It had all the same beats as A New Hope.
Right.
But, I mean, it did maybe stick a little too close to that. But the end result is it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted, and that's what we got. I mean, we got a very, very good villain that was very well fleshed out. He's conflicted. He's not a one-dimensional cardboard bad guy.
Right.
He's conflicted. He's talking to the severed head of his grandfather.
Yeah.
And he admits, I feel the light calling to me.
Yeah, right. He says, he's like, I felt it again. And he like hurts himself and,
Oh, yeah, and he goes into these rage attacks.
Man. Yeah, when he cut up that room.
Yeah, and the stormtroopers were like, oh, let's go the other way.
Tantrum. Yep.
Yeah, tantrum.
Right.
Let's go the other way.
Yeah.
That was funny little beats like that. But he obviously is a conflicted character, which makes him more interesting.
Totally.
And that's why Vader from Return of the Jedi was more interesting than the other two movies, because he was conflicted, and you could tell he was. He fought it, and he didn't want to, but he was, and that makes him more. And the scene on the bridge where he kills Han.
Oh man,
that guy is Adam Driver.
Adam Driver did more in one line on that bridge than Hayden Christensen did in 2 full movies. I mean, just that one line. Well, he says, I forget the exact wording, but he says, I'm hurting. I just want the pain to go away. That right there is just, I mean, and imagine a son saying that to his father. Right. And the dad wanting to do everything he can to make it go away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. No matter what.
And the way the pain goes away is he kills him.
Yeah. It's unreal.
And he kills him and he says, thank you. And it's just like, holy crap. But yeah, the reveal that he was Han's son.
Yep.
But I mean, you could hear the entire theater go, whoa. And I'm looking at Emma like, what?
That was from left field. I mean, I was like, whoa. I mean, we had to know that like somebody
there was some kind of connection
was going to have a connection, and there's even more, which we'll talk about right with Rey.
Yeah.
And even Finn, like, why did he all of a sudden just be able to just wield the lightsaber?
But that's the thing. He didn't do that well. I mean, he got his butt kicked.
Well, against that trooper who had that like lightsaber resistant staff or whatever.
But he, as a stormtrooper, he may have had melee training.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
that was great. I mean, to show PTSD in a stormtrooper, what an amazing way to make a statement.
But
that never happened in A New Hope.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 'Cause they never took off their helmets, and I thought it was great, a nice little touch to Phasma to come up and go, "Who told you to take that helmet off?"
Yeah,
you can't even you don't do that as a stormtrooper,
right? Yeah,
I thought that was a nice little tick there.
And then later she was like, "Have your blaster checked because I think it's broken."
Yeah,
right. In a way, like I know why you did.
Yeah, basically, I know what's up with you. But that also begs the question: is like, how was Finn able to break that training? Because he's been trained. He's like almost like the Jedi. Right. They're taken
as
child,
young,
and they're raised that way.
Mm-hmm.
Why was he able to break loose of that? And does it happen more often?
Right.
And it may happen more often, and they get nixed. I mean,
I'm sure within seconds they get broken down. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he was just lucky to be in the same spot. And something Emma pointed out.
Yeah.
Okay. He decides he's going to leave. He gets Poe because he needs a pilot.
Right.
And they get out of there. Then he doesn't see him again for most of the movie. Then he sees him and like, hey, buddy.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And she was like, well, they just met. And I said, well, if you think about it, in A New Hope, it was kind of the same thing. They're talking about at the end of the movie, Han and Luke are like buddying up.
Hey, kid.
Yeah. They've just known each other for a little time. But in the pressure cooker of the high pressure situation that they're in, it becomes more of a
when they're tethered with that TIE fighter, awesome scene.
Oh yeah.
And then they're just blasting people. I was just like, awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great moment. Yeah, I mean, even how did Poe get off of Jakku? They never show us that.
That's a good question that was left unanswered.
I mean, he just shows up kind of later, like, hey.
Well, there's a spaceport there, so if he got there. Yeah, he got there. If they're not looking for him as much as they are the droid, he could get there, and he knows how to be more inconspicuous than Finn does. So he can get there, get a ship, and get out of there.
Right.
I mean, he can hotwire it.
Totally.
Yeah, he's the pilot, so he
got
can.
The way,
and he's the hot shot pilot too.
Right.
Which leads me to believe that him growing up next to that force tree made him a little force sensitive.
That's true. So in Shattered Empire, right, Chris Rucka reveals that on a mission, Shina, or what was her name? Shara, who's Poe Dameron's mom. She's also one of the hero pilots, Y-wing fighter at the Battle of Endor. Wonderful. So she goes on a mission with Luke, like deep into Imperial territory, and she has to dress as an Imperial officer, and they sneak on. He's a Sith. Luke looks like a Sith Lord and stuff. They do a really good job of it. And deep buried in this vault are supposed to be one Force tree that the Emperor stole from the original Jedi Temple, but it's two actually. So she gets one and then takes it home after the whole saga.
To Yavin, right? Yavin 4?
I'm not sure if that's where they live or not.
I think so.
Could be.
I have to look at it again, but I believe it was they were back to Yavin 4, which he said was fitting because that was where their first real battle that they had won.
Yavin.
Yeah. So I think they were on Yavin.
So they had Poe, right, and supposedly we don't know what the power of this Force tree does. You know, it could be that it's the source of midi-chlorians or whatever that crap is or something. So it's very true that could be, you know, something that that unfolds that way.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple of things. So overall, right? So the Emperor died, and so did Vader. Why didn't the Force balance at that point?
Well, I guess technically it did, because the only Force user you have, or powerful Force user you have left, is Luke. So it's not balanced.
But I guess.
But if you got Snoke
is hidden in
could be
in the wings somewhere.
But that's one of those things that you were supposed to bring balance to the Force, is the prophecy for Anakin.
But it could very much be that it's not, right? That's still ongoing. That Luke is not even the chosen one.
Well, no, Anakin was the chosen one. That was supposed to bring balance to the Force.
Okay.
But that's the thing. Balance is not a good or bad thing. Balance is just balance.
It's just not. It's not wobbling.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to one side or the other. So that means there's an even number of light side users and dark side users. So, and that may be the thing now. You've got old dirty hermit Luke
right,
as the good side user.
Yeah.
And then you got Snoke. But then you've got Kylo Ren.
That's right. And then the whole Knights of Ren, which
in the flashback where you see the Knights of Ren, he's the only one with the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Are the rest of them Jedi as well, Jedi trainees, or did he kill all of them? Because that was the thing. He turned on Luke during training, and that's what made him leave. That's what made Luke leave, because he felt like he had failed.
Yeah.
But why would he leave? Just taking yourself out of commission to train because he was going to restart the Jedi Order.
Right.
And they were going to go back to doing what they were doing, which was protecting the galaxy.
Well, Han said that like Luke took it hard and took it personally.
Yeah.
Right. What happened?
It was his nephew.
Yeah.
And now that you found that out, yeah,
who killed everybody, right? Everybody that was supposedly there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So another thing is, how did Maz, right, who owns the little cantina, right?
How did she get a hold of
How does she get the lightsaber? Yeah.
That's a very good question.
And one thing I was also wondering is she the same race as Snoke?
It's possible because we don't get that good of a look at Snoke.
And his face is disfigured slightly.
It's a hologram.
Yeah.
So you never know. I mean, because you first see him, I'm like, holy crap, the dude is huge.
Yeah.
But then it's a hologram. So yeah, you're not quite sure what he does look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, she may be the same race. Because he may be a whole lot smaller. Than maybe that's why he makes his hologram so huge. Because he's actually small,
like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're little people.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell because she had the glasses and stuff or whatever. But it could be a male-female difference in their race, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a very good question. How she got? I mean, because she's asked that question, and then they go away, and when they come back, everybody's fine. So maybe she told the story. And maybe that's something we're going to get later.
Could be
in some other way. But that one was on Bespin because
was that the planet that Maz's
Cloud
bar
City?
Is?
No, where it was. That one was the lightsaber that was lost when Luke's hand got cut off.
Right. That fell through the duct.
Yeah. So it was in the bowels of Cloud City. If it didn't fall out, just like Luke did.
Yeah, I wonder then what.
So where did that come from?
Right.
And maybe it called to Rey. Maybe it called to somebody else.
Could be.
And it ended up there.
Well, in Aftermath, there's a whole thing that's like that like all the Sith items are basically scavenged and sold.
Oh yeah,
all over the universe,
collectibles. Yeah,
including I guess Vader's helmet, right?
Which there's in the Star Wars series. Is it Star Wars or is it the Chewbacca series? There's a hut that collects Jedi memorabilia and heads, if you can.
Oh, in the Chewbacca series?
It was either the Chewbacca series or the Star Wars series. But you've been reading Chewbacca. You said
I haven't seen that.
Okay, yeah,
because they're mostly in a mine the whole time.
Yeah. So it's the Star Wars series.
Okay.
They run across a hut that collects Jedi stuff. Yeah.
And that's very interesting. So I guess everything and anything is out and about. Across the universe. So I wonder if this is too, if it made it onto some sort of black market.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's
if
very
someone
possible.
Found it. I mean, people would know what it was immediately.
Yeah, they would have to. And then it was Anakin Skywalker's, and it was for a long time it was in possession of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
And then it was passed to Luke Skywalker. 3 of the most powerful Jedi ever.
Right.
So it's going to have some juju rub off on it.
Yeah, I'm sure. But there's a really cool character in Aftermath, which I'll tell you a little bit. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a battle droid from the Clone Wars.
Oh, okay.
Named Mr. Bones, and he's a bit of a Terminator.
Okay.
So he's an assassin. He sort of goes around and his, you know how the droids look? They're kind of flat face.
Yeah.
With a rounded thing with the flat front. His is sharpened.
Okay.
And he has one glowing red eye.
Nice.
Which is one eye's hunting, one eye's fishing. And a couple other things that are interesting as far as what I scavenged. Chewie and Han go on a side mission. There actually is one chapter dedicated to them.
Okay.
And they go to what you may think is going to be the liberation of Kashyyyk.
Okay.
So that's supposedly what may happen. Now there's a character named Admiral Ray Sloan, who's now in charge of the Empire, sort of after. It's one of the sort of remaining admirals.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the person who sort of reports secretly to Supreme Leader Snoke. So this Admiral Ray Sloan is a big character. We don't see that person in Force Awakens, but is in Aftermath.
Okay.
Which
so
is
maybe this Aftermath is the first part of a 3-part
Yeah, novel series.
So he may not make it out of the novel series.
He might not. Yeah, I think that was probably there to keep it. Yeah, so he could.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this was an interesting fact. Boba Fett may have escaped from the Sarlacc pit.
They said he did.
Because his armor was for sale, but he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So
his armor allowed him to keep from being digested long enough to get out of there.
Basically, the way Chuck Wendig describes the armor is that like it's all like pitted and like the acid burns and stuff and everything, and it's just like
the digestive fluids of Sarlacc. Yeah, because they're doing a Boba Fett anthology, movie, and it's set after the Sarlacc.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I've been watching Clone Wars, and in season 3, you see Darth Maul come back, and he's got the robotic legs and
the crab legs. Yeah,
exactly. Very weak. Yeah, very weak.
Yeah.
There's somebody named Tashu who's an old advisor to Palpatine. Says that so I guess that the Empire should he's suggesting is that the Empire should leave charted space and go outside and like basically all become Sith Lords.
Oh wow!
And like he suggests this, and the Imperial Command laughs at him. This is all post Palpatine, all post Jedi. He says this is because Palpatine used to say that beyond their known universe is where his power comes from. So there's this beyond space now that like is supposedly maybe where the dark side lives or broods. Another thing is that Mon Mothma, she becomes the sort of de facto leader of the Senate, the Resistance Senate or the New Republic, and she wants to basically reduce the military presence by 90%, which is controversial. Yeah, it's very controversial. A really cool thing is there's a character who's simply known as the Rebel, who two boys want to join this Stormtrooper Academy, and they like basically he says like I forget what the setup was, but he says like no, instead of going to the Stormtrooper Academy, I have a better academy that you can attend, this new Jedi Academy. So we get this setup for that. All right, I don't want to tell you anymore because there's really some good juicy giblets in there that are really fantastic. But as far as Shattered Empire is concerned now, an interesting fact, I guess Naboo was set to be blown up as a final order from the Emperor.
Oh.
Why? Why? What was it about?
Take out his anything that makes him human almost.
But why? What's the point? Like, what would that...
Make a statement. I mean, that's his home planet, and he's willing to destroy it. That's just pointing out that you have no qualms about doing anything.
I suppose so.
It's like shooting your mom.
Yeah. Or is there something there he's trying to destroy and
there might
protect?
be that as well. There may be something there that he's trying to hide.
Artifacts seem to be a really big deal
in
this this new world. So we said before, Luke steals the 2 Force trees that were once in the original Jedi Temple, and then Poe Dameron's mom, Shara, right, gets one and plants it on her home planet, and basically around the time of Poe's conception, right? Well, at least we think so, because she says, "Come here, soldier." And that's that's sort of the goodies that come from the comics and the Midway novel. So I have a couple of theories here that
there's a lot of theories running around that some I think hold more water than others.
So I'm going to shoot them at you.
Okay.
And then you shoot them down. Okay. Because you're good at that. And then I'll tell you mine, which one I think. But I don't know. I have now a qualm in my theory, so I'm rethinking it. But we'll see. Okay. All right. So the number one is that Rey is Skywalker's daughter.
That yes, I've seen that, and I think that could very well hold water.
But wouldn't it just be expected and boring if it were the truth?
That's possible. Yeah, and
it's
it
too
could
neat
be
and like
yeah, it could be, or that could possibly be another child of Han and Leia. But they wouldn't. I don't think they would have left her there.
Exactly. Their actions towards her were like weird.
Yeah,
right?
Their actions toward her were familiar, but not so familiar that it would be their child. That's what kind of leads to thinking yes, that is Luke's daughter, and so that's their need. Because you think about it, when Leia saw her, it was after Han had died.
Mm-hmm.
She had never seen her before, and she goes and hugs her.
Yeah, which was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I mean,
or don't they meet before the battle?
No, she was on Starkiller.
Oh, already.
Yeah.
Right.
She was already on there.
Yeah.
And that's when they got there. She had been taken prisoner, and
By
Finn
Kylo
is
Ren,
like,
yeah.
"We gotta go and save her."
So she's obviously very special, right? Because like Kylo Ren says, "What girl?" Right? And then it's like, whoa. So that means something. So this girl concept is big.
Yeah.
And then also, if you remember, Maz, they do this off camera, says to Han, "Who's the girl?"
Yeah.
And then he makes like a face, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess explains.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there must
And we
be-
get the explanation that of where she got the lightsaber happens at the same time off camera, and Han seems satisfied with it. And Han is basically bequeathing the Millennium Falcon to her.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen just like right off the bat.
No, especially when he just gets it back.
Exactly.
I mean, the gun turret doesn't work, so I guess
So
it's
yeah.
scraps. It's
so
junk.
I think there's a lot of evidence for that. That
It's Skywalker's
that it's
daughter.
Skywalker's daughter.
So a couple of questions, right? So obviously, why would he leave her?
Yeah.
Right, is a good question.
Well,
Could be
and-
the
and
Kylo
then
Ren.
That may be she may be left there for protection. It'd be interesting to see who, because you see in the flashback, you see a little girl hugging somebody's hip, watching the spaceship go away.
And I didn't
wanna
recognize
know-
that ship.
I want to know whose hip that is.
Right.
That she's hugging. Who was she left with?
That's known. The guy's name is something I forget.
Was it Max von Sydow?
No,
No, he wouldn't have let her be living out in the desert.
No, it's
Yeah, and what happened to whoever she was left with? Because they were protecting her, and now all of a sudden she's living the life of a scavenger. So something happened to them.
Yeah, his name was Unkar Plut. It says it seems to be a vision that from her caretaker was always Unkar Plut. Yeah, and the young Rey. So Unkar Plut is somebody. Yeah. Is that him? No way.
What?
It's the dude that she buys the stuff from, that she trades with.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I think is that who Simon Pegg is playing?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so in Unkar Plut is a male crew.
She was
on the
left
remote.
with the junk dealer?
I guess so. He was the junk boss, bought scraps of rebel Imperial ships, crashed during the Battle of Jakku. Let's see.
Wow.
It doesn't say... Oh, well, hang on. Yeah. About 30 years at the Battle of Endor, Unkar was the junk boss of the planet doing survival rations out of scavengers, among them the human scavenger Rey. In return... let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's
I don't think that was
true.
who she was left with.
Yeah, I wonder. That's a great question. You know, who it may be, because that would be big. They'd have to be trustworthies.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see.
Yeah, because that will answer a lot of questions of who she was left with and why. If she was left there for protection,
right?
Who was she left with, and what happened to them? Because something obviously happened for her to now be living this scavenger's life.
I'm looking to see if I can find that cell of when she grabs that person's leg, but I don't think it's out. They're not going to maybe show.
And I don't think we might not be able to tell a whole lot from the leg. But yeah, she was left there, and it could very well be. They never really say how long it's been since Rey turned and Luke left. So it's probably
we don't know.
About 10 years that she's been there.
Yeah.
So that, I think evidence leans towards her being Luke's daughter.
Yeah, it says that Rey was born to unknown parents at the age of 5, was left on the planet Jakku, a junkyard planet littered with leftovers from the Battle of Jakku. Yep, she lived on her own inside a downed AT-AT and learned to survive. Whew, okay, well, It doesn't say... Oh, wow, interesting. The helmet that she has by the Imperial, the Rebel graveyard belonged to Captain Dosmet Rey of the Tirfan Yellow Aces.
So maybe Rey is not even her name. She just took that.
Could be.
From his name.
But it's R-A-E-H, like a Caesar, like a ligature connected type thing. So, yeah, I guess we don't know if that's the case. All right, well, let's get back to the theory here for a second. So, all right, so why would they leave her? Okay, maybe for protection. The lightsaber called out to her.
Yes,
so
that's the
really
biggest thing.
Critical, yeah, as to why that may happen.
I think that's the biggest piece of evidence to say that she is his daughter.
She is Force sensitive, obviously, and really gets good at it quickly.
No, I think she's trained. I think she was before she was left on Jakku. She had training because she knew how to do the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah,
and you don't just fall into that. She knew how to do that. She was very adept at the lightsaber.
Yeah.
So I think she was trained and just has forgotten that she was trained. It just took a little while for the memory to kick in because she seemed a little confused almost at first when she started doing the Jedi mind trick.
Well, didn't Kylo Ren try to do it on her or do something to her? Because I thought like she saw him do it.
Yeah, she tried. Yeah, he tried to like get into her head, but she was able to push back, and she was able to confound him.
Yeah, right. He was
I
shocked.
think she has trained. She has training, and she was trained before she was left there. And I think that again piles more evidence on that she was being trained by her father with her cousin.
Yeah,
and her cousin turned and killed everybody there, and she was left for him to come back and get her. I think Luke went to go find this first temple to find something there, and just hasn't returned.
Yeah,
and thought she was safe, and she ended up not being. That something happened to whoever she was left as a protector.
And she can sense the island, right? And she can see where Luke is, like through vision. So she obviously have maybe been there if it's in her memory.
It's possible, yeah.
Or it was some sort of
her
vision.
connection with him.
Yeah.
So you've seen that connection between Vader and Luke.
Yeah.
That they have that. He knew Vader was on the ship. Vader knew that Luke was on the planet.
Yeah.
They have that connection.
Right. Right. As far as being able to sense each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then who's Luke's wife?
That's a good question of who that was.
So the extended universe has him marrying Mara Jade.
Yeah.
But she's been retconned, right?
Yeah,
to go to Legends.
Yeah.
So that could be very much true that Rey is Skywalker's daughter. I would say it'd be too easy if they did it.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be as awesome. You know?
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. So the Jedi kids, it's like the Jedi twins are back in a way.
Exactly, yeah.
From the Zahn novels. Okay. You said before, and this will be theory too, that Rey is Han or Leia's daughter, right? Because it could be separate, right? It could be that there's a baby daddy or baby mama.
Yeah.
But Han would have to. Han is maybe Force sensitive, not confirmed.
Yeah.
Right. But he'd have to be with a Force sensitive woman in order for that to occur. But neither Han nor Leia really recognize her and go, "Hey, that's familiar."
Yeah. Familiar, but not that. If they had lost one child, they wouldn't send the other one away.
No way.
No
Absolutely
way.
not. Yeah.
No.
That would not be at all.
Yeah.
And if it's Leia's daughter, right, then Han didn't know, and that's messed up.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Exactly.
Come on, Leia. Okay, she can fly the Millennium Falcon like crazy.
Yeah.
And she can fix shit too.
Yeah.
Like just boom.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I bypassed the blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
The compressor, and there it is. Great.
Yeah.
Shazam.
And remember,
what?
Anakin as a little boy.
Oh, pod racer.
Yeah, and he could fix stuff.
Right.
All the pit droids, he kept working. That's why Watto kept him around, is he fixes stuff.
That's right.
That's his granddaughter.
Could be.
So
Could be.
Could be. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I also did see a rumor that it could possibly be maybe not a daughter, but a granddaughter of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, we're going to get to that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So still on the Han and Leia one, you mentioned she hugged Leia in a meaningful way, right? They obviously had an epic moment there.
Yeah.
And if she is Han's, then who's the Force sensitive mom? And dang, they already got kid problems, right?
Baby mama drama.
Damn. Yeah. All right, so that might be the least good out of all of them.
Yeah.
The movie really pushed like it might be, right? But then we also saw it might be Luke, so it's kind of swaying in the wind there. So, okay, so you said that she might be a Kenobi.
Yeah.
Right?
Although
so
that one, that's a little far-fetched for me because Jedis don't get married. That he told Anakin that.
Yeah.
And he's been on Tatooine. He was on Tatooine for a long time. So unless he had a wife that they never showed in A New Hope, or a little lady friend on the side who had a baby, who then had a baby, I mean that one is it's a stretch.
So the only thing that we can find is that one of the last novels to not make it into the canon had a story that suggested that Obi-Wan had a lady on the side on Tatooine after he settled there. So exactly like you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, which would make sense. It's unaccounted for time, right? We don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 25 years.
I think so, since Attack of the Sith.
Yeah,
right? Or
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
Into
A New Hope. I think it was supposed to be that amount of time. So it's a long time to be out in the desert by yourself.
But
just saying, people.
But then she would be the same age as Luke.
Exactly.
So that doesn't make much sense.
So that's what I'm saying. It would have to be a granddaughter.
But we never saw children
of
Kenobi at all. There's also she could be a Jinn. A Qui-Gon Jinn. She could be a descendant of
but again,
Qui-Gon. No
Jedis don't have significant others.
But it could have been he had one back in the day, and we don't know much about his past, from the movie.
But that would almost need to be then a great granddaughter, because he was when Obi-Wan was very young.
Qui-Gon was old.
Yeah.
But still, it could be in the line, right?
Yeah,
this is saying all these theories connect everybody to the elite Jedi families, right? Which would sort of make sense. Now, it could just be that she's just some lady, right?
Yeah.
Just like, the Jedi had the little kit to test people in the wild.
Yeah, the midichlorians.
There was Jedi of all kinds.
Yeah.
So it could just be that she's some lady who can kick some major Force butt, and that's it. She's the everyone hero, right? Which would be awesome.
Yeah.
Why Jakku, right?
Yeah.
Of all places. And maybe she was sent, like you were saying, after the Ren massacre, to there to be hidden.
Protect her.
Exactly. And I was gonna say, let's just hope they don't say that she just has a high midichlorian count. And that's it. So I think that could be cool, and that could be very open ended, and it wouldn't be a letdown or a lift up. I think it'd just be, and it would be like, all right, cool, because Rey has stopped the show on Star Wars. Everybody loves her.
Yeah.
She is the breakout star. So if she was the every person, then that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
That would make audience buy-in and female buy-in huge. It's not Slave Leia anymore. It's
exactly. Yeah.
It's butt kicking Rey. All right. Do you want to hear my theory?
Sure.
Okay. All right. You help me with it because I think I have a hole in it, perhaps. Let's see. All right. Okay. So I think that she might be a Dameron.
Oh. Do you think
although Poe didn't really recognize her.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't know. Nobody really recognizes her, but everybody knows her. She's like, Norm,
Yeah.
So I think that when Luke gave Poe's mom the Force tree from that temple in Shattered Empire, that could this thing be something that gives off energy or fruit that can enable Force sensitivity in people around it, right? Could she just have lived there, right, and maybe been a little kid?
Leached off of it, yeah.
Exactly, as a little kid and been friends with Poe, maybe
then
not.
Why would she be left on Jakku? And why would he not know about her?
Exactly. It really could.
Yeah.
That it could, but I wonder, does the Force tree have anything to do with it? Because it'd be silly to put it there with Poe Dameron and then have nothing happen with it.
Yeah.
It'd just be really the
It's
letdown.
like the old adage in if you introduce a gun in Act 1, you better use it before Act 3. You have to. If you put something in there, it better have some meaning.
Better do something.
Yeah. Better do something with it.
Like that Robin who was lurking in 0 Hour who did nothing.
Right. That did nothing.
He's like,
exactly.
I'm going home.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Entropy wave. So that's what I think is that like she may be connected to that planet, the Force tree, because I feel like it's such a big humdinger.
Yeah.
That, I bet Luke put that tree he had on the temple wherever that planet was. We still don't know that either.
Yeah.
And that maybe it was destroyed or taken by Kylo Ren or something.
Yeah.
But that second tree becomes very important.
Yeah.
So to introduce 2 meant something. I was always wondering why they did that.
Yeah.
So
They specifically pointed out that there was 2 when he thought there was only 1.
it's like kidneys. You got a backup.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I have another theory.
Okay.
She's Yoda's daughter.
Yikes. One of my Christmas presents.
Dagobah. I'm just saying.
One of my Christmas presents was one of the 18-inch Yoda figures.
Yeah.
And something that we never really see is Yoda's got some jacked up feet.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
He's got some jacked up feet.
The hobbits are like, damn.
Yeah, it's like some type of fungal growth going on. I'm not sure what's going on.
There is some among us.
There's a fungus among us.
Yeah.
So somehow I don't think that was.
So those are the theories that I've sort of come across and vetted, I think, as being the strongest ones.
Yeah.
The Skywalker one seems the most like it has the most logic behind it. Mm-hmm. But I wonder. I think there's a dark horse somewhere around here that's going to emerge, and it could be the every person thing, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Maybe this sort of Dameron Yavin Force tree thing
might be
really cool.
Well, there's also a rumor running. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a rumor running about who Supreme Leader Snoke is.
Hmm.
So there's some people that are saying that he is Darth Plagueis.
Which we had talked about, right? I had asked like maybe if that because we did a trivia question on the Emperor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was his master.
Exactly.
But didn't he kill him?
He did. Well, I always assumed he did.
Yeah.
Because he actually, when he's telling Anakin the story, he says he was murdered by his apprentice. So I assume that's him, and he killed him in his sleep.
Yeah.
But he said he was able to create life. So maybe he brought himself back.
Could be.
And there's actually somebody pointed out that in the soundtrack, whenever Darth Plague or whenever Snoke is on the hologram thing and he's on the screen, there's the music that is playing is very similar to the music that's playing when Palpatine is telling Anakin the Plagueis story in Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's like a monk chanting sound, and it's the same thing on both.
Do you think that would signify that, or
it could be, or it could just be a coincidence?
Yeah.
But I think the identity of Snoke is something that's going to be very important. Look, I think he's not just somebody who just kind of popped up. I think there is, because he is Force sensitive. He knows because Kylo Ren, when he's talking about the light calling to him, he says, Snoke senses it in me. So he knows.
We had to apologize to him, right, for being good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's got some type of Force user.
Yeah.
So he may not be a Sith Lord. Maybe it's something different. But Darth Plagueis, if he brought himself back to life, maybe he sees there's a problem with the Sith structure, basically, because there's always an apprentice and a master.
Yeah.
And the apprentice usually ends up killing the master because he wants the power.
Right.
So maybe he sees the problem in that, and he changes the structure of things.
That's very interesting.
It's an interesting theory, and it does have a little bit of evidence to it.
Do you think it's possible that Rey is related to Palpatine?
Wow, I had not thought that.
I mean, Naboo is. I'm just thinking, what are they showing us in Shattered Empire over and over again? Why are these special things? I mean, Leia went to save Naboo. I mean, the Empire had this like storm machine that like changed the weather and made all these like cataclysmic storms occur, and like the planet was going down.
Yeah.
So they had to fly out and blow up the Star Destroyers. It could be. I mean, she could be coming from. She could be like a brilliant light coming from the dark side.
Yeah.
That could be very interesting.
We don't really know a whole lot about his past, but again, that would have to be. She would have to be granddaughter.
Yeah.
Because he was so old.
We don't know if he has a family or not.
Yeah.
I mean, he grew up on Naboo as part of the Naboo royal family, I guess, or something.
Was he?
One point. Yeah. Let me look him up.
He was a senator.
He was, but he was a part of the royal. Here, let's see. Star Wars Wikia. Palpatine. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, so born in 82 BBY on the planet Naboo to aristocratic House Palpatine. Palpatine discovered the Sith at a young age as a collector of dark side artifacts. He met Higo Damask, a Mun businessman who was in reality the Sith Lord Darth Plagueis. So Higo Damask, a Mun businessman. Let's see what the Mun look like.
The Mun. Oh, that's what's her name, isn't it?
Here's what the Mun look like.
That looks very similar.
Like Snoke.
Yeah.
That may be what is really true. You may have cracked the code here.
Yeah, I remember seeing them. Where was it before? Was it? They were part of the Trade Federation or something, maybe.
The Mun.
I remember seeing them in a movie before. It's the big long-headed people.
Yeah. Let's see.
I remember seeing them in a movie before, and I'm thinking they are part of the Trade Federation.
Yeah, they ran the Intergalactic Banking Clan.
That's the Banking Clan. That's right. Yeah.
And there was a Senator Rush Clovis who was raised by the family Mun. Wow. Cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does he have a family? Let's see. Palpatine was born. Yes. Palpatine's patriarch, Casigna, and his wife. Oh, okay. No, that's his parents.
Oh, okay.
Situated in Naboo's Lake Country, and he has at least 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Oh. Wow.
Palpatine does.
How about that?
That could be a really good lead.
My brother is the most evil guy in the galaxy. How about that?
Damn. That won't get you a seat at Denny's.
That sucks.
Yeah, and his family's really...
I wonder if the rest of his family is Force sensitive.
Could be.
He's obviously very powerful, and that all doesn't come from just training. That comes from... a lot of it is an innate ability. So now that leans a lot more towards that is the case, that it's Darth Plagueis.
I mean, it could be. There's great backstories in here about how he used to be a pod racer.
Oh wow!
Speeder racing. He had a passion for it.
But he's a Force user, so that
he likes the thrill.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that could be very much like a truth there. It could be that. Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of rumors like that running around, and the biggest thing is the backstory of who people are, how they're connected to the larger universe.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see stuff like that because you want new stuff to be introduced, but then at the same time you want it to have a connection to the old school stuff.
Yeah, you want it to be good and not like, oh, that's brand new and unexpected.
And unexpected, yeah, and it just sucks. But I mean, so yeah, I mean, it was a running joke before the movie came out that they were going to reveal that Finn was Lando Calrissian's kid because he was the only one of 2 black guys in the whole universe. But thankfully they didn't do that.
I'm glad they didn't. That would have really just been, yep.
So yeah, that would have been bad. But yeah, so I think there's obviously a connection for several of the characters. It's just a matter of how they play it out and how they reveal who they are that we need to get in future episodes. And it's something that it's Star Wars, so everybody's going to be analyzing. And there was even somebody looking at the crawl. They left out the commas around Luke when it says Leia is searching for her brother, and it should be comma Luke, and comma, and then go back to the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
The commas were left out, and there was some grammar expert saying that the leaving out the commas implies that she has another brother or something like that. And I was just, okay, slow down, stop that.
Oh, I see. Because if you have more than one brother, you would name your brother. But no, does that make sense?
I don't know. I didn't quite get it, but it's like, okay, we know that she doesn't have another brother. Padme's dead, and only had the 2 baby, unless there was a triplet that we didn't see there at the end of Revenge of the Sith. I don't see that going on. But it was, was. Everybody's going to analyze and overanalyze everything about these for the next 2 years until we get the new movie.
Yeah.
So.
But we may see a couple of things, like we may see Finn become Force active as well. I mean, he's there now.
He's Force sensitive, obviously.
Yeah.
He just needs some training.
Right.
So.
Perhaps the whole, we're going to find out quite a bit. Kylo Ren is still alive.
Yeah.
Captain Dax or Admiral Dax or whatever his name is.
Hux.
Yep, he's still alive. Phasma.
Mm-hmm. They're all returning except for Han Solo. They're all returning for the next movie.
Yeah.
So we will get the same group, and we'll obviously get a lot more answers. And like I said, A New Hope, it was obvious it was the kind of a standalone thing. This is obviously the beginning of a story where there's left things unanswered. That's stuff we want to know.
Totally. Yeah. And the one thing I have to say that was slightly weak, the map stuff.
The map stuff.
With the map.
Oh yeah, that was kind of weird.
It was like, come on guys, like you can't plug into R2 and get the map stuff out of there.
Yeah.
Like R2 is not sentient.
Down. Yeah. Just because he's shut down, that you can't get anything out of him.
And like if that's a map of the known universe and that little piece is missing,
can't you figure that out?
Go there.
Yeah. Can't you figure that out? Yeah, there's got to be more than one.
Weird.
Yeah, that was a little weak.
And how did BB-8 get the map? We don't know that.
Right. No, that was Poe was going to get it from Max von Sydow, and he put it into BB-8.
Well, I'm saying how did they get it? Like that piece of it. Like where did it come from?
Yeah, that's.
Before we learned that this plans for the Death Star was stolen because of a raid.
Yeah.
Maybe we're meant to assume that, but I wonder. Yeah, I wonder.
That's a good question. But the thing one of the things that bugged me was the destruction of the planets was kind of glossed over. It just kind of happened all at one time, and they were shown like people were on a planet and they're looking up and they're seeing all these planets be destroyed.
How did
they see that? Yeah, right. They're not that close. I mean, they may be just taking artistic license to show it happening.
Yeah, and
they could have done that a little better.
That was scary though. Like the Death Star had one laser beam. This one had like
it was firing out 5 at one time,
and then they were like tracers.
Yeah. And I think they should have lingered longer on that to show how hideous that thing was.
With people melting.
It was. I mean, it was, and to see Han be like, "Oh, okay, well, there's a port or something that we can blow up. There's always a port." And
that was funny.
And that was funny. And then them to show the size of the thing.
Yeah.
Like this is the Death Star. This is the second one. Then it's this thing, and it's so much huger.
Yeah.
And it was a planet. I mean, it wasn't like even the Death Star. It was
a moon.
It was a small moon. Is what they called it. Yeah. but this was a planet. They had put this in a planet.
And the way that it used juice from the sun
Yeah.
and stuff, that was really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, it makes sense. You know, it's like,
And
that's what happens in comics all the time.
Yeah, and he gave it the charge up so when it drains that, and it got colder and darker as it was going. So it was pretty well done. But I wish they hadn't glossed over like the destruction of the planets that much. And it gives me the questions, okay, is now the Republic gone? Because they were aiming for the government center of the New Republic.
Yeah.
Is it completely gone now?
That's a great question.
I mean, we've got and it seemed like the Resistance and the Republic, the New Republic, were separate entities.
Yeah. Like one was still fighting and one was trying to make governmental.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what the structure is, especially now. And is there more of the First Order? Because
could be that planet
seemingly
all blew up.
Yeah, seemingly they were all there. Their fleet and everything was there at the Starkiller base.
On that planet, yeah.
So is there anything left?
It's a great question.
So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of questions coming out of it. So, but of course there was coming out of New Hope.
Yeah.
I mean, Darth Vader went flying off into space. Who picked him up?
And he's got his super TIE fighter.
Yeah. So I mean, bottom line is there were holes in it, but it was a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh,
it was an awesome movie.
It really was.
And I felt like a 6-year-old kid again watching, and that was the biggest thing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And like I said, Adam Driver, I think was a runaway star. Because Finn and Rey were going to be big parts of the movie, and and I think they did an incredible job.
Right.
But Adam Driver was so awesome.
The fact that he unmasked a bunch of times was really cool.
Yeah,
that was like,
you see, he doesn't need to wear it. He's wearing it because he's a fanboy.
That's right.
He wants to be like
it makes
Darth
him scary
Vader.
as hell.
Oh yeah, it makes him scary as hell. But yeah, when he takes off, there was a guy in the row behind me when he took it off, and he was completely normal. And a guy in the row behind me goes, "Wow, that was anticlimactic."
Oh,
but that was, to me though, that was even a bigger thing. It's like, okay, he doesn't need that. He's not wearing it because he has to.
Yeah, because he wants to.
It's because he wants to.
He's a big child,
and he's he's a big child. Yeah. And he talks about Rey thinking of Han as the father she never had, and he says you'd find him a disappointment.
Yeah.
So there's obviously issues there.
Oh, totally.
And
I bet it's because Han was off and away and running around.
Very possible,
and,
yeah. Smuggling.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, and it was the relationship between him and Leia were interesting because they had split up. And that was, nobody expected that.
No, they thought they were going to be in love forever.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and you thought, okay, this movie's going to start. They're going to be together.
But think about an Empire. When they're walking through Hoth and everything's coming down around them and they're having a quarrel.
Oh yeah, it's true.
And it's like, thanks guys.
Yeah. But I mean I think it was well done. Their relationship was well done because they wanted to be together. They know they love each other, but they had to deal with Ben's turn in their own way. Mm-hmm. And he says, I went back to doing the only thing I'm good at. Even though you have evidence that he's not that good at it.
Yeah. I love that they named him Ben.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
After Ben Kenobi.
Yeah.
Maybe.
When and you don't get that until he actually calls out to him.
Right.
Because they always say, if you see our son, save him. If you,
bring him
Snoke,
home.
Snoke says, your father, Han Solo, but he doesn't name him until Han yells out Ben. And you're like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, and so a lot of it was extremely well done. There was some holes, but what movie doesn't have holes in it?
Nah. Well, we're pumped for the little mini episodes, and then the next one.
And that's the biggest thing right there to figure whether it was good or not. Is we were pumped for another one. So
that's right. Yeah. So how many Ninja stars out of 5, Timmy? You think you can give?
Out of 5, I'd say 5.
You can give it a perfect score? Cool. I'm with you. I think it was excellent.
I mean, watching it, I was saying, and I think I've texted you after I got out, I was like, it could very possibly be one of the best ones of them. I mean,
absolutely. I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, the effects were beautiful. Nothing was chintzy and
No.
BB-8 looked real.
Yeah.
He looked dirty. He got sand in his, rotors and stuff like that.
It's
I mean,
a her.
It's
a her.
Oh, BB-8's a her.
It's a her. Yeah.
Ah, interesting. I
Because
did not know
droids
that.
have genders.
Wow.
And BB-8 is a her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I love the voice modulation on her and stuff.
Yeah.
That you really got more emotional
Yeah.
sort of connection to it.
Oh, and it was another thing. Rey could understand Wookiee. She could understand Chewbacca
And droid. Yeah.
So well, I mean, if you've been around, she is a scavenger. She's probably been around droids long enough. She could understand them.
I'm sure
But
Wookiees too.
That's the thing. There's no Wookiees on Jakku. But if she grew up with him,
yeah,
I think that's another hint that she is Skywalker's daughter, because she would grow up around Chewbacca, so she would learn how to communicate with him. And Chewbacca had no issue accepting her.
Yeah, right. He didn't
He's the first mate now. Again,
yeah, right.
She's in the pilot seat.
Right. Why wouldn't he take over and say, "Get in the back," or
exactly.
let me do this?
Because he knows and trusts her.
Wow.
I mean, because he's a Wookiee. He's not going anywhere. A, he's not going anywhere he don't want to.
Nope.
And B, he is not going to go with anybody he doesn't trust.
No. Yeah.
And he doesn't trust lightly. So that's the thing. The fact that she is there in the Millennium Falcon is another, I'd say, another clue that that's the truth.
That's absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I feel exhausted now.
We should.
So much.
We're a long show.
It really is, but I think this is totally worth it. We love this movie. Definitely get out there and see it. Buy all the toys.
Oh yes.
But save your money for next year. Don't waste everything on Star Wars.
Yeah, I've already done some of that. And if you're gonna buy toys, go to the Disney store. They're cheaper there.
Yeah, that's what you're saying before.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Because I've been an idiot and I bought them at Walmart thinking they'd be the cheapest.
Nope. Yeah, because I got some ginormous, the X-wing, Poe's X-wing, and TIE Fighter.
Cool.
Like $10, and they're huge.
That's awesome.
3 times the size of the ones you get for $10 at Target. So.
Yeah, I have the Micro Machine ones.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks, Timmy.
There you go.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap up this extra huge long edition
giant
of the Ninja
size
Troll,
edition.
The giant size.
Want to do our picks real quick?
Yeah. Let's
get out.
Yeah, go ahead. Fire up your picks there.
All right, I got 2 interesting ones. One's on Netflix, really interesting documentary. It's called Chaos on the Bridge, and it's hosted by William Shatner.
Oh.
And it's all about the lead up to the creation of The Next Generation.
Oh,
series.
Wow.
Incredible movie. All the behind
It's on
scenes
Netflix?
on Netflix. Yes, all the behind scenes stuff. Casting Picard, Roddenberry flipping out, Majel having problems too. Really, really. Rick Berman, is all in there.
The first couple seasons of Next Gen were not, actually, first season was not that good. And a big part of it was Roddenberry.
Yeah, and then when he came off and Rick really stepped in, and another guy came in as like the big producer directors.
Rick Berman, and who was the other guy?
I forget his name. Something Cassidy, I think it was, or
maybe I don't remember. Yeah.
Anyway, it's awesome. I watched it last night. Just put it on. It's called Chaos on the Bridge.
Chaos on the Bridge. I'll definitely have to check that out.
It's interviews, footage, photos.
Cool.
Everything great. When he died, and it's like all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is there's a movie called Comic Book Superheroes Unmasked, and it's on YouTube. And it's a documentary that was on TV, but you can find it on YouTube now. It's about an hour, and it is all about sort of the world of superheroes.
Cool.
And it's awesome. It's like if you're sort of like, a casual consumer or a hardcore fan like us, great movie.
Cool.
It talks about like everything we've talked about with the history of our love and passion.
Cool. That's awesome.
So that's what I got.
Well, my pick, I've only got one pick, and it's Doctor Who.
Ooh, all right.
Because that's been kind of the only thing that I've really gotten into over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you've picked other things this couple of weeks.
But yeah, I'm hooked. I'm absolutely hooked. So it's
cool.
that's my pick. So, but that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. Remember, for all the latest news from all around geek culture, make sure you follow us on social media. Facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast.
We're on the tweeters at Ninja Troll Show.
And Instagram at Ninja Troll Digicast.
I like Instagram a lot, I'll tell you. We're on the YouTubes at youtube.com/C/Ninja Troll Digicast.
And you can always visit us at NinjaTrollDigicast.com. And while you're there, click on the subscribe to iTunes button to get the Ninja Troll on iTunes. Make sure you join us next week. Same Ninja time, same Ninja channel.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Tim say,
"Open the pod bay doors, Hal."
This is the Ninja Troll Digicast, the defenders of all things geek culture.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.